Oh,
The
God.
winner's 3-1, and the second horse that you had was 5-2.
Okay. We had Sister Charlie in our pick 6, didn't we?
No,
Oh,
you're dead.
Oh, we're dead. God.
Yeah.
Okay.
You had the 3 that lost by a head.
Oh, jeez. Oh,
So when
unbelievable.
you asked for good news, I said, no, you're dead, you're dead.
Right.
You
Right.
had the 1, 3, 10, 14, and it came 6, 3, 9.
Okay.
No 14, no 1.
Okay.
No, it's a travesty.
Travesty is right. Hope for 5 out of 6, right?
Well, we can hope.
Okay. All right. I'm going to get organized here. Thanks for checking in. I'll call you later on today.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Ferris. Let me put together a big syndicate. You can just keep that towel. Why don't you just keep that towel? Just in case that same thing happens again.
Yeah, it's likely to. Okay, we're streaming here. We're going to get this audio. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
between the visiting Cougars and the Crusaders. And Coach, welcome to another first-round game, and welcome to Crusader Field on what is a beautiful Saturday afternoon here in the North Coast.
Well, I'll tell you, we've had fantastic weather all season. Of course, this time of year, the HDN teams kind of like to have a little mud and rain coming down on us because that gives us somewhat of an advantage over a lot of these teams that play on plastic year-round. But it is a gorgeous day out here. The sun's busting through the fog. There's no wind. The field looks like it's in great shape, and looking forward to another exciting playoff match.
All right, let's take a look at the Division 4 bracket. The top 4 seeds in Division 4, all with byes in the opening round, and that would be top-seeded Moreau Catholic. Del Norte gets the number 2 seed. Kennedy High School out of Richmond is the 3 seed, and San Marin the 4 seed. So elsewhere last night, it was the number 8 seed, St. Patrick St. Vincent, knocking off the number 9 seed. That would be St. Mary's out of Oakland, 55-35. 55-34, Battle of Catholic Schools. That game taking place in Vallejo. And then the other game last night, Fortuna had no problem with El Molino, winning by a final score of 55-14. 2 other first-round games today. St. Bernard's, of course, hosting Albany. And then tonight, down in the Bay Area, in the East Bay, it will be the number 7 seed Piedmont entertaining the number 10 seed Justin Siena. So in looking at what's going to happen in the quarterfinals is that the top seed, Moreau Catholic, they will be hosting the number 8 seed St. Patrick St. Vincent, who beat St. Mary's last night 55-34. That game will be taking place next Friday night at 7 o'clock in Hayward. The winner of today's game, which is also part of the upper part of the bracket, will be playing San Marin High School down in Novato next Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock. Bottom part of the bracket has Del Norte playing the winner of the game tonight between Piedmont and Justin Siena. That game taking place next Friday at 7 o'clock. And then Fortuna will be traveling to the Bay Area to take on Kennedy High School out of Richmond. And that game will be played a week from today. It will be played next Saturday at 7 o'clock. So if St. Bernard's takes care of business this afternoon against Albany, we could potentially have a true doubleheader as far as 2 playoff games in the Bay Area next weekend, with St. Bernard's playing San Marin on Saturday afternoon and Fortuna playing Kennedy High School out of Richmond on Saturday night.
Yeah, a 1 o'clock and a 7, and that's the way it could shake out here. But St. Bernard's has to take care of business here today first before that's going to happen, and we'll see how they do against their opponent. So. And
then potentially down the road, the possibility of a semifinal game between Del Norte and Fortuna if both those teams win their quarterfinal round game next week. So with 3 teams from the Big 4 Conference in this Division 4 bracket, the potential is there for some matchups involving Big 4 teams down the road in the semifinals and maybe even in the championship game.
Yeah, we talked even last night about the liking the odds of 3 HDN teams being in the Final 4. And, Del Norte's going to be a tough out at home. Whoever wins the game between Siena and Siena and Piedmont. So whoever wins that wins the luxury of traveling all the way to Crescent City, and we'll see what the weather's like up there. But Del Norte's pretty tough at home. And so, if Fortuna can take care of business at Kennedy and St. Bernard's wins today and next week, we could have 3 out of 4 in the Final 4 Division 4.
The other member of the Big 4 Conference, the number 2 seed in the Division 3 bracket, and that is the Eureka Loggers. And Eureka will now play the number 7 seed De Anza, who defeated Tennyson last night at home by a final score of 45-22. So in the quarterfinals next week on Friday night, the 2nd-seeded Loggers will entertain De Anza, and that will be on Friday night at 7 o'clock. And taking a look at the Division 5 bracket, there was one game last night, and unfortunately, the number 9 seed, the Arcata Tigers, ended up losing at home at the Redwood Bowl to the number 8 seed Cloverdale Arcata with a home game because the Tigers won the Little Four Conference Championship, and Cloverdale knocks off Arcata by a final score of 31-12. And the Eagles now will move on and play the top seed Kelseyville next Friday night in Lake County, and that will be a 7 o'clock kickoff. 2 games today involving teams from our area. This afternoon, down in the Walnut Creek area, the 11th seeded Ferndale Wildcats will be playing the number 6 seed Berean Christian, a rematch of a game that was played last year that Ferndale won at home. Those 2 teams playing this afternoon at 1:30. The winner of that game will play Stellar Prep in the next round. And then tonight in Napa County, 7th seeded St. Helena will host the number 10 seed Hoopah Valley, who's making their first appearance in the playoffs since 2011. And the winner of that game tonight will play Salesian next Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock. And as far as 8-person football is concerned, South Fork with a bye this week. The Cubs are the number 2 seed. They will be playing the number 3 seed Rincon Valley Christian next Friday down in Miranda, and that will be a 7 o'clock kickoff. So that's kind of a quick overview of what's going on. 8 local teams advancing to the North Coast Section playoffs. 3 teams with byes this week, Eureka, Del Norte, and South Fork, who are all number 2 seeds. The local teams went 1-1 last night, and then 3 local teams in action today.
Yeah, well, good luck to all of them. We'll see how it all shakes out at the end. There's some pretty tough competition in Division 5 this year, with Kelseyville being tough, and we've seen Stellar Prep play, and my assumption is they've been improving week in and week out, and they're awfully good. So I don't know what Salesian has this year. I think we saw them last year against Fortuna. Or was that the year before? My memory's slipping a little bit, but they weren't
2 years ago.
2 years ago, they weren't very strong that game. Fortuna really handled them, but they're pretty good year in and year out. So we'll see how it all shakes out. But it's playoff football, so it's winner go home, and makes it exciting.
When we come back on the pregame show, we're going to take a closer look at today's matchup between the Cougars and the Crusaders, and we'll be back with more on the pregame show right after this 2-minute timeout. Perfect. So far, so good. We off and running? Nine, 1, 5, and 7. Who was the 9? Oh, that's the 9. Jake's texting me results. Whitmore ran a good second.
Okay, so the Cougars deferred the second half.
They did.
Yep.
So a lot of the things that they do in talking with Coach Amer, they spread it like St. Bernard's. They also play a 3-5. So, they're kind of a poor man's version of what St. Bernard's does.
Tallman said he wanted to run the ball with Hagler a lot.
Exactly.
Today, so.
Yep. Just kind of take some pressure off Omey.
Yeah.
And that's why they moved Hagler over there. So Hagler's going to start at running back, and then Simone's going to start at the slot.
Well, he's hoping.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Tommy.
Hoping for lopsided so he can rest his starters. We'll see.
He's kind of hoping for the same type of thing that happened last night.
Yeah.
I mean, best case scenario, that's what we would like to see happen. Welcome back to the pregame show. Both teams concluding their warm-ups and getting ready for the opening kickoff, which is going to be in about 5 or 6 minutes. Our broadcast today coming your way on the radio dial and 95.1 Mix FM, 106.7 The Edge FM, on the HD radio dial and 95.1-1 Mix HD, 95.1-2 The Edge HD, also streaming at www.951mixfm.com, www.1067theedgefm.com, and also streaming on Facebook, 95.1 Mix FM on Facebook and 106.7 The Edge on Facebook. And speaking of Facebook, you can go to the St. Bernard's Academy Facebook page, click on to the link, which will end up sending you over to YouTube, and you can actually, thanks to Dr. Luke Omey and Chuck Petrucia, you can actually watch the game and listen to our broadcast on YouTube. So we encourage people to do that. And as always, we want to welcome all of our listeners on the radio and on the internet. All the Cougar fans out there, all the Crusader fans, all the Husky fans, all the Wildcat fans, all the football fans, and the Hunters, as far as welcoming them to our broadcast today. Let's tell you a little bit about the visiting Cougars. They are the number 12 seed. Kind of a great story in talking with their first-year head coach, Omey Hawari, who's 29 years old. They didn't even make it through last season between the heat, fires, and players getting injured. As far as dealing with the whole concussion thing, they were not able to even conclude the 2017 season. Coach Hawari was the junior varsity coach the last 2 years at Albany. He actually graduated from Albany in 2007, graduated from Albion College in 2012, and we are now going to have the prayer. All shake hand with the prayer, and then the singing of our national anthem.
Lord, please watch over our athletes today. Watch over all of us as we see a wonderful contest. Watch over Albany as they travel home this weekend. Thank you for a safe and wonderful season. We ask for this in your name, Lord Jesus Christ. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Amelia Francis, as always, doing a nice job with the singing of the national anthem. Coach Hawari in his first year as the head coach at Albany. Albany, a member of the Tri-County Stone League. And they ended up finishing up the regular season with a 3-3 league record, a 6-3 overall mark. As a team, they outscored their opponents this year 165 to 144. They are averaging 23.6 points per game and giving up 20.7 points per game. They are averaging 150.7 yards per game rushing, 162.9 yards per game passing. Total offense, 313.6 yards per game. Crusaders under the direction of sixth-year head coach Matt Tomlin. St. Bernard's with a 6-4 overall record. The Crusaders ended up finishing third in the Big Four Conference with a 1-2 record.
Oh,
St. Bernard's has outscored their opponents
you're
this
up.
year 385 to 296. They were averaging 38.5 points per game,
One time I
giving
took
up
over for you, I completely
29.6
screwed
points
it
per
up.
game, averaging 190.9 yards per game rushing, 243.8 yards per game passing, total offense 434.7 as Albany gets set to kick off. And that will be Carmen Saikan kicking it off to Hagler, who takes it at the 15, and Hagler's got some running room. He's across the 30, he's across the 40, and he's finally tripped up near the 45-yard line,
Yeah,
Coach.
Jason Wood, number 6 of the Cougars, making a nice, touchdown saving tackle there, because Beckett found a nice seam in the coverage there. Albany won the toss, deferred to the second half, and St. Bernard's get a nice return there at the 45.
So a 30-yard return for Hagler, who opens the game at running back today. That's Fairfield in motion. It's an inside handoff to Hagler, who's going to run straight up the middle and fall forward for a gain of 7 before being tackled by Jalen Palega.
Nice push up front by the Crusaders. That's what I'm going to look at every game I call, and who's going to get the push up front. We're looking at those big guys up front. Who's going to win those battles?
This time they're going to give it to Fairfield on a fly sweep, and he's going to get to the outside, and he's got some running room. He breaks a couple tackles, 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown, St. Bernard. So on their second play from scrimmage, Fairfield scores on a 48-yard touchdown run, and this game is only 40 seconds old, and St. Bernard's leads 6-0.
Yeah, fly sweep action, and I thought maybe the Cougars had a chance. They had a couple defenders back there. One took a pretty bad angle, and that's important to take a good angle when you're in a foot race toward the corner of the end zone. But too much speed, and
The execution was perfect on that play, and Crusaders are on the board.
So 2 plays, 55 yards, the numbers on the scoring drive as Thrapp will attempt the extra point. Snap, now they're going to go for 2. Thrapp wants to throw it. He's rolling to his left. Now he's kind of running for his life. He's going to cut back, and he is going to be stopped short of the goal line. So we will take a break in the action with 11 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Our score, St. Bernard's 6, Albany nothing, and we'll be back with more right after this timeout.
That was planned, wasn't it?
Thank you very much, Tommy. No, I think that was design. That was.
You got numbers for the other team?
I do.
Okay.
Here, who needs a roster?
I do.
You do? Here, hang on. I got one for you.
What's it?
No, I got one. I've got a hard copy of one for you.
Wow. Okay.
You got it, brother.
I printed it out. 14
Yeah, no.
Walked up here and I'm like, it's
Not numerical, but
Not numerical,
That's fine. That's better than what
If
I've
you
got.
could give back to me.
I'll give it right back. I'm going to write them down.
No, just keep it. Just keep it and give it back to me after the game. I've already got another copy. Wood and Connor Petrucia in on the tackle. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you. Chuck's dad doing a good job of spotting, working with Luke Omey up here. So these guys keep us on our toes, don't they, Coach?
It works well.
It's nice having 2 extra sets of eyes.
No doubt.
So we're going to see the spread out on first down. They're going to keep it on the ground, and they're going to give the ball to their big running back. That is Gianni Galavez, and he's going to be tackled for a loss.
Yeah, St. Bernard's defense doing a nice job of flowing to the ball carrier, keeping their shoulders parallel to the line of scrimmage and shutting down that play. Well executed. And,
I just got it.
yeah, St. Bernard's D taking a good play on the very first snap.
I'm going to beat the ants today. I'm not going to make the same mistake I did last week as far as
I just watched a couple.
leaving my candy up on
We should
top
have
of
a
the
party and
equipment.
play it.
Yeah.
Ants like it up here in the press
Those
box.
cut
So a
up
loss of a yard. It's going to be 2nd and 11 at the 26. Mario Jones, a dual threat quarterback, looks over the defense. St. Bernard shows blitz. Jones wants to throw, and his pass is going to be complete.
come on, dude.
And making the catch out in the flat and breaking a couple of tackles and picking up enough for a first down. That is going to be number 6, Jason Wood.
Yeah, Wood doing a good job getting his hands out, catching the ball, and breaking a couple of tackles. Strong receiver there, showing his strength and agility and picking up a first down there. So to keep an eye on him today.
Gain of 12 and a first down to the 38-yard line. So trips to the left, going to be an inside handoff to Galavez, and he is going to be hit and tackled right at the line of scrimmage. And we've got a penalty flag down on the play.
And a Cougar down as well. Looks like number 56 for Albany, Jamie Trujillo, is getting some attention from the sidelines here. Hopefully he's okay.
Player being attended to. The referee today is David Brown. The umpire is Randy Marion. The linesman, Doug Caber. The line judge, Jim Seaman. And the back judge is Patrick Hawsey. Both Brown and Marion are members of the North Bay Officials Association, and both of them were part of the crew that worked the El Molino Fortuna game last night. The 3 other officials are all members of the local association.
Up and on his feet, put himself off the field, so that's a good sign. Not sure where the injury was. I'm not seeing any obvious signs, but seems to be okay.
Trujillo, their starting center, and according to the information that I got from Coach Hawari, the backup center is number 78, Juan Carlos Medina, and we will see if that's the case. One of their top linemen was questionable going into today's game. That was number 55, Richard Jimenez. And that does look like Medina taking over at center for Trujillo. Going to be 2nd and 10, trips left. Jones being pressured is going to scramble. Try to bounce. He bounces to the outside, and he's going to be dragged down at about the 42-yard line. But there is a penalty flag down in the backfield.
Usually holding territory, but we'll see.
Jones showing us what he's capable of doing as far as being a dual threat quarterback. Gain of about 4 yards on the play. And it's going to be a procedure call against the Cougars. And that's going to move the ball back to the 33-yard line, where it will now be 2nd and 16. Crusaders 6, Cougars nothing. Early stages of this opening round North Coast Section Division IV playoff game in Eureka at Crusader Field. Look at this bunch formation to the right now. They've got 4 receivers to the left, I should say. And the pass is going to be intercepted by Trapp at the 48. As the pass was overthrown, Trapp is going to be pushed out of bounds inside the 30-yard line at about the 25-yard line. So our first turnover of the game Thrap back there playing center field does a nice job.
Yeah, it looked like the quarterback threw into triple coverage there. There were a lot of green jerseys around and one receiver near the football. The ball was thrown a little bit above and beyond him and right into Thrap's hands. So good heads-up play by Thrap there and a nice return after the interception. St. Bernard's kind of owning the football field in this early part of the game in between the tackles on both sides of the football as the Cougars just don't seem to be able to move the ball on the ground.
Hagler is going to check out of the game, and now Smallwood will check in and replace him at running back. So our first turnover of the game, an interception by Jones that was picked off by Thrap, and then Thrap with a nice return, a 24-yard return, and the Crusaders with a short field to work with. They have the ball at the Cougars' 28. Omey fakes the handoff to Smallwood, looks down the middle, and the pass is going to be caught by Simone. Simone with a nice one-handed catch, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown.
Little Odell Beckham Jr. action.
That looked like that.
I was like, I didn't catch that thing.
From the dead run, and pass was perfect. The catch was a little, was a highlight reel. So again, quick strike. St. Bernard's run about 3 plays from offense so far today, and they've got a couple touchdowns on the board.
So a 28-yard touchdown pass from Omey to Simone. And this time the extra point by Thrap is up. And it is good. So with 9 minutes remaining in the first quarter, it's St. Bernard's 13, Albany nothing, and we'll be back with more right after this break. Perfect. Thanks, Tommy. Omey to Simone. Check and see how many touchdown passes Omey has thrown. Passing is the first one.
That would have been his 28.
28. Okay, and then how many touchdowns has Simone scored?
Simone, that is
He's thrown a couple.
Yeah, but as far as how many,
I don't think he has any.
Is that his first
That's
one?
his first one?
Yeah.
Okay, good call. It's his first touchdown of the season. All right, good for him. Okay, great.
5.
Okay, perfect. So if you could help me out with that stuff, because I'm writing things down, that's great. That's perfect. Buys me one more time. 3 plays from scrimmage, 2 touchdowns for the Crusaders as they have taken control of this game early, Coach.
Absolutely, and guys up front are doing a great job.
And here's an onside kick, and it's going to be fielded cleanly. Nice job by number 52.
Kembe.
That is Ojin Kembe. And Kembe, rather than just kind of sitting back on his heels, was aggressive, kind of just moved forward and fielded that ball cleanly and then just covered up.
Yeah, if you watch any film on St. Bernard's, you know they're going to onside kick, if not all the time, most of the time. And he did a good job of coming toward the football there. The ball took a nice, pretty easy high bounce for him. And Cougars have great field position here on in St. Bernard's 47-yard.
And we'll see if they can take advantage of it. They've got kind of a bunch formation to the left, nothing to the right. They fake the handoff. Jones is going to keep it himself, and he's going to be tackled in the backfield for a loss on a nice defensive play by the nose guard, Lucindo Gable.
Yeah, did a great job of penetrating, shot right through there and got the quarterback where you need to tackle him. He's quick. You need to get him down around the legs, and did a great job of getting to him.
And a loss of 5 on the play.
Second and 15 for the Cougars.
So it'll be 2nd and 15 for the Cougars. Cougars with their second possession of the game. Their first drive ended with an interception. And with that sudden change, St. Bernard's was able to take full advantage of that after the interception by Thrap. As the pass downfield is going to be dropped by a wide open Owen Ray. And Ray had found a seam in the defense, and he just dropped the football at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, it was, there's no other way to describe it other than he just simply dropped it. That should have been an easy catch, and the safety had fallen to the ground, changing directions. He could still be running with that thing, and he caught it. And, he's
out. And the Cougars defense stepping up. Cougars now with some life on the far side of the field, stopping St. Bernard's on downs.
Yeah, it was close, but just short. And you say it's a game of inches, and that's proof right there. So that stops the St. Bernard's drive, and Cougars take over here, and we'll see if they can manufacture a little offense.
So on 3rd and short and on 4th and short, the Cougars get the job done, and they will get the ball back, trailing 13-0 with 6:47 left in the first quarter. They will have a first down at their own 38, moving from our right to our left. Jones wants to throw, is going to dump it out in the flat, and the pass is going to be caught by the big running back. That is Galavez, and Galavez doing a nice job of not only breaking the tackle, but hanging onto the football, and he ends up carrying the ball into St. Bernard's territory to the 40-yard line, a gain of 22.
Yeah, he had a precarious grip on the ball there through part of the run, but the yards after catch were a big part of that play. Just a little swing pass away from the 4-receiver side, and he's kind of a load. He's a big guy, and rumbled down the field for a nice gain.
Galavez in the backfield. Jones is going to just dump it out in the flat, and the pass is underthrown. The pass was intended for number 3, Logan Taylor. As once again, we kind of go with that bunch formation with everybody lined up on the same side of the field.
Yeah, Caden Gordon and Justin Hagler, St. Bernard's, putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback there, and he kind of had to get rid of that ball quick, and it was heading right toward the feet of the intended receiver, and uncatchable ball. So good job by the St. Bernard's defense. Put a little
clock stops with 6:33 remaining in the first quarter, as the officials now are going to have a conference near the line of scrimmage. Coach Tomlin letting the officials know that he's got the rule, whatever rule they're talking about, on his phone, and if the officials need to look at it, he's got it on his phone. It's amazing.
rule about what?
I have no idea. We're going to try to find out. Go ahead. Coach, you go ahead and keep talking.
So there's 2 guys on the line.
So officials are having a conference.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the controversy is. It should be second and 10.
Which is what they just did.
And
Okay. Okay, so here's the rule. Coach Saunderson's great. We should probably just give him the headset. So on that quad side, there's 2 guys on the line. And the inside guy is technically ineligible because he's covered up. And they just tried to throw a pass to him.
ineligible receiver downfield. It should be a penalty.
Okay, St. Bernard's is going to call a timeout. We're going to get Coach Saunderson to come over here. Coach Saunderson, if you could come over here real quick, because Coach Tomlin is going to talk with the officials. Coach, why don't you hand your headset to Coach Saunderson? No. Please explain to us what's going on. Okay, thanks. Welcome Kyle Saunderson up here in the booth. Coach Tomlin, you've got a free minute because Coach Tomlin now is talking with the officials. So explain to us what this discussion is all about.
So they're running the quad receivers on one side. They have 2 guys up on the line of scrimmage in that block formation. The inside guy should be ineligible to catch a pass.
Okay.
He takes a step back and they tried to throw a forward pass to him right now.
Which is what they just tried to do. Okay, so there should be some type of penalty. Is that basically, well, either an ineligible receiver, or, I mean, is that kind of what you're lobbying for?
We've seen it in film. So,
Okay.
So Coach Tomlin had communicated with Chris Peterson about the rules. That's what they're discussing right now.
And he's talking things over with the officials right now. Okay, Coach, thank you very much for that explanation. Kyle Saunderson, nice enough to come by to let us know firsthand what that discussion is all about.
And Coach Tomlin doesn't look very happy down on the field after explaining what the rule is and what they are doing over there. Doesn't seem to have made any headway. But maybe the officiating crew now will be a little more aware of what's going on and what they're trying to do, and for future reference.
Well, that was one thing Coach Saunderson just talked about, that they picked that up on film. They brought it to the attention of the officials.
So now number 3 over there shouldn't be eligible. The inside guy, and he's stepping back.
Now they're going to look downfield, and it's kind of a jump ball situation, and making the catch at the 22-yard line is number 12, Akai Shri, as the defender on that play. It looked like it was number 88, Logan Petruccio, who was right there, kind of got crossed up a little bit, and Shri did a nice job of coming back and finding the ball.
Yeah, that's a case of a pretty poor pass, if I may, that the receiver did a good job of adjusting to, and the defensive back just kind of got spun around and couldn't make an adjustment on the ball.
So a first down for the Cougars at the 22. They're moving from our right to our left. Jones is going to keep it himself. He's going to try to bounce to the outside, breaks a couple tackles, is still on his feet, 10-5, end zone, touchdown Cougars, but there is a penalty flag down at about the 10-yard line.
Boy, good. Quarterback threw a great stiff arm to get around the edge. It looked like it was against Hagler and kept his feet moving. I think we're probably going to get a hold or a block in the back down the field, and that's what it looks like. Illegal contact penalty against the Cougars going to bring this one back. So big break for the Crusaders here. It was a nice run by the quarterback, but somebody made some unnecessary contact somewhere, probably a crackback block or something like that. I didn't see it, but it's usually the best guess.
And that was a nice touchdown run by Jones. Jones showing us his ability as far as being that dual threat guy that can beat you with his legs and with his arm. So the penalty is going to move the ball back to the 25, where it will be 1st and 14 from the 25. Trips to the left, and now we've got a penalty flag down. And it's going to be a procedure call against Albany.
Yeah, it looked like someone on the left side of the line might have moved there a little before the snap. So Albany going in the wrong direction right now the last couple of plays with penalties.
Ball now move back to the 30-yard line. Crusaders 13, Cougars nothing. First game of a doubleheader today. Later on today, the St. Bernard's girls soccer team, the number 2 seed in Division III, will be hosting the number 3 seed, Credo, in the semifinals of the North Coast Section Division III playoffs. And now things are really starting to unravel for the Albany offense.
Yeah, coach is unhappy. Somebody just threw a playbook onto the ground
I
over
saw
there.
that.
A little emotion breaking out, and it's tough. You're standing in the end zone 1 second, and all of a sudden you've racked up 3 penalties in a row, which not only keeps points off the board, but you keep marching backwards up the field, and all of a sudden it's 1st and almost 30 here, and that's not what the coaching staff wants to see.
Alberto Johnson, the offensive coordinator. Jones now will just dump it out in the flat, and the pass is going to be caught by Ray, and then he's going to be brought down after a short gain. Taylor, along with Smallwood, in on the tackle. Coach Tomlin very happy with the job that his defense did as far as everybody staying at home.
Yep, playing good assignment football against that spread offense out there, and here the Cougars trying to run some kind of deception with the 4 receivers and who's on the line of scrimmage and who isn't, and who steps back real fast, and a little different twist.
2nd and 22 from the 34-yard line. Now we have quads to the right. Jones looks right. Now we'll go downfield, and the pass is incomplete. It was thrown behind the intended receiver, number 11, Sean Williams.
Yeah, the pass was hurried. Pretty good pressure by St. Bernard's, and the pass kind of came out a little early. It looked like he rushed the ball just a little bit, and it fell short. He might have had a little bit more time than he thought, but not a great pass and incomplete. So now you're looking at 3rd and very long.
And Albany's going to take a timeout. So they will talk things over with 5:01 remaining in the first quarter. St. Bernard's leading by a score of 13-0.
That time lining up the 4 receivers to one side, they were all eligible because only the far guy was on the line of scrimmage, and on the other side of the formation, the single receiver was on the line of scrimmage. So they had 7 guys on the line of scrimmage, and they were all eligible that time. But I see what Coach Tomlin was concerned about, where sometimes in that four-man bunch over there, they have two guys on the line and then nobody's on the left side or the opposite side, and that player should not be eligible to catch a pass.
Coach Johnson talking things over with his unit. Coach Johnson was a two-sport athlete at Shaw University back in North Carolina. He was the most valuable player of the baseball team back at Shaw. Tony Muscardin, the defensive coordinator, played with Coach Hawari at Contra Costa Community College, and he played his college football at Faulkner College in Alabama. So once again, we have that quad formation to the right on 3rd and long. Jones being pressured will try to step up, and he is going to be sacked by number 25. That is Gordon.
Great job, good penetration. Looked like he came from the middle linebacker position there on the blitz, and got a hold of him and hung on. The quarterback, Jones, pretty slippery, pretty strong, but Gordon does a good job of hanging on and bringing him down. Now it's fourth and forever here after that sack.
As the former voice of the Ferndale Wildcats, Steve Capini used to say, Coach Capini always used to say it's 3rd and a long cab ride or 4th and a long cab ride. In this case, it's 28, and Jones is going to roll to his right. He just wants to kind of throw it up. Now he's going to run. He's going to have to keep it. He bounces to the outside, and he's going to be shoved out of bounds by Finoti at the 29-yard line, a gain of 11 on the play, but he's well short of a first down.
Yeah, a little indecision by Jones there, the quarterback. Once he crossed the line of scrimmage, he was committed to run, and no one was open deep, and there were too many defenders who came up to him after the commit to run there, and stopped him well short of chance at a first down.
So the St. Bernard's offense that was stopped on downs on their last possession after scoring 2 touchdowns on their first 3 plays will get the ball back at their own 30, and Omey this time is going to hand it off to Fairfield, who wants to throw it. Thrap is wide open, and he makes the catch at the 35, and he's going to score easily. So Fairfield with a 70-yard touchdown pass to a wide open Thrap, and the Crusaders with a trick play score their 3rd touchdown of the game.
Yeah, the cornerback on this side of the field on the defensive left was really in a tough spot because Fairfield was going to, if he runs with the ball, he's got to come up and make the play. He's the only guy out there, and Fairfield pulls up, throws the ball. The corner abandons his coverage responsibilities, and Thrap, there was nobody anywhere near him. Nearest defender was probably 15 or 20 yards away, and that was just an easy lob and catch and run for a touchdown.
Extra point by Thrap is good, so we'll take a break in the action. With 3 minutes and 55 seconds remaining in the first quarter, our score St. Bernard's 20, Albany nothing, and we'll be back with more right after this timeout. Thank you. Is that Fairfield? Okay, Fairfield to Thrap. Thanks, Tommy. Okay, so that is Thrap's 12th. And I bet that's Fairfield's first. Is that? Touchdown passes.
Fairfield touchdown.
Yeah.
I can't remember another one.
Okay, so good. That's a good call. So Fairfield, that's his first pass attempt of the season, goes for 70 yards.
Yeah,
you can see the poor kid come up and bite on that one.
Yeah, you can smell the burn all the way up in there. It was just not even.
Okay, so Fairfield with his first touchdown pass, Thrap scores his 12th touchdown. Okay. That's so demoralizing. They have a little momentum, get a touchdown call back.
Shot themselves in the foot 3 plays in a row down with penalties.
Right. Thrap gets set to kick off after scoring on a 70-yard pass play. Now kind of a pooch kick by Thrap that's going to be picked up at about the 20-yard line by Jones, and then he's going to be tackled immediately by number 2, Aiden Hamanaka, but I think Jones, in the process of being tackled, kind of lost his footing, and then Hamanaka may have grabbed his face mask because we do have a penalty flag down. So it's going to be a 15-yard penalty against St. Bernard's. And that will move the ball out to the 35-yard line. So it'll be a first down for the Cougars at their own 35. They trail 20-0 after that trick play by St. Bernard. 70-yard touchdown pass from Fairfield. His first pass attempt of the season. Thrapp scores his 12th touchdown of the year.
That's a tough break for the Crusaders. That was a perfect kick. It kind of died around the 10, 15-yard line, and the penalty brings it out a ways.
Cougars with their 4th possession of the first quarter. They have a first down at their own 35. Jones wants to throw, looks across the middle, and the pass is going to be complete. And making the catch near midfield is number 6, Jason Wood. And that was a well-thrown ball by Jones.
Yeah, threw into 4-man coverage. There were green jerseys all around him, so he kind of threads the needle a little bit. The good news for the Crusaders, they didn't let anybody behind them. So they kept the receiver in front of them and made a tackle without giving up a big score. But that was a well-thrown ball, nice catch, and first down for the Cougars.
Gain of 16 yards. Galvez in the backfield with Jones. Trips to the right. Rodriguez is split to the left. And Jones now will keep it himself. And Jones does get to the edge before stepping out of bounds at the 43-yard line. And he picks up 6 yards on that first down run.
Yeah, it looked like kind of a read option play of sorts. A little fake to the big running back, number 7. Galvez, and then Jones takes off running to the left and got good speed. So he beat the nearest defender to the edge and picked up about 6 yards on the play. So.
Jones coming into today's game, 60 carries, 332 yards, averaging 5.5 yards per carry, and he has 2 rushing touchdowns. So 2nd and 4. Jones now will step up. We've got a flag down, and he's under a heavy rush, and he's going to go down back at the 48-yard line.
I think we're going to get a hold.
Penalty flag on the play.
No, I think we're procedure. Looks like it's going to be declined. After the sack and the loss of yardage.
3rd down.
I'm going to assume that is Beach wearing 66 because I know he's worn 66 in the past. So it was Beach and Gordon getting to the quarterback. Lost back to the 47-yard line, so it's going to be 3rd and call it a long 7 for the Cougars. Rodriguez is split to the left, trips to the right. Galvez in the backfield with Jones. Got a flag down. And speaking of going down, there goes Jones as he's going to be tackled by Finoti back at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, the Crusaders brought about 6 guys on that play. A little blitz package going on. Flags coming down. And
7 on the play brings up 4
penalty's going to be declined. And it's going to be 4th and long.
So we're going to have a timeout with 2:40 remaining in the first quarter.
Timeout called by Albany.
And it's going to be a timeout called by the Cougars. Cougars lost their top running back early in the season. That would be Potts. And Potts, in 5 games, 79 carries, 711 yards. He's averaging 9 yards a carry, averaging 142.3 yards per game. And he had scored 5 rushing touchdowns. And he ended up getting hurt early last month. And they had to kind of move Galvez to running back, and then they became more of a spread team as far as just trying to take advantage of what Jones can do, Coach.
Yeah, well, you got to put the ball in the hands of playmakers, whoever they happen to be. And, you know, it's always tough when you lose one of your key players early in the year like that. And, you know, staying healthy for a school that doesn't have a deep roster, they've got about 20 guys on their team over there, and not a whole lot on the bench. And, you know, you take one good athlete out of that mix, and all of a sudden you're replacing and plug and play and all that kind of stuff. So that's a tough loss.
Jones wants to throw on 4th and long. He's going to look downfield, and the pass is going to be broken up on a nice defensive play by Taylor. As Taylor, with a nice heads-up play, batted down that pass that was intended for Shriek.
Yeah, two games in a row now we've seen defensive backs make really good, you know, high football IQ plays of knocking down a 4th down pass rather than intercept it, which he had a chance of doing, and that gives the Crusaders about 15, 20 extra yards.
Omey wants to set up a screen, and he does as he dumps it off to Hagler, who picks up a couple of blocks, and then Hagler is going to be brought down just short of a 1st down at about the 37-yard line. Tembe in on the tackle.
Yeah, nice screen play there to Hagler, and a couple of blockers out front for a nice big gain.
Gain of 9 on the play.
A.J. Yeager out front making a nice play.
And on 2nd and short, going to be an inside handoff to Hagler, and he's got more than enough for a 1st down as far as his forward progress. He ends up being pushed backwards, but he was inside the 35 to the 33. That's Brown, along with Taylor, leading the way defensively for the Cougars. The Cougars have now been stopped on downs on their last 3 possessions. Potts was injured in that game against Bethel back on October 5th. Going to be 1st and 10, handoff to Hagler running over the left side. He's going to bounce to the outside before being brought down at about the 30-yard line after picking up 4 yards on the play.
Yeah, Gianno Rodriguez, number 2 for the Cougars, doing a good job of wrapping up Hagler around the legs and bringing him down. Hagler's pretty good size. He's a load to tackle, and he runs well, but that was a good tackle.
St. Bernard's with their 5th possession. There's been a total of 9 possessions here in this first half as Omey looks across the middle for Fairfield, who makes the catch at the 10-5, touchdown St. Bernard's.
Hit him perfectly right in stride, perfect pass, nice catch. Avoided a couple of would-be tacklers, and the defensive backfield for the Cougars having a few breakdowns here in this first quarter. So here we go again. Not a whole lot of offensive plays by number for the Crusaders, but they're putting some points on the board. Their 4th touchdown.
Omey with his 2nd touchdown of the game, his 29th of the season. 30-yard touchdown pass to Fairfield. Thrapp will attempt the extra point. Snap spot, the kick is up. And it is no good. It's wide to the left. We're going to keep it right here. 1:09 remaining in the first quarter. And the Crusaders in complete control this afternoon,
Absolutely. Coach Tomlin talked about it a little bit, kind of hoping to have a big day today where if they could get out in front enough, they could rest a lot of their starters and, try and, stay as healthy as possible. We saw what happened in Fortuna last night. Coach Benbow was thrilled with the performance of the Huskies, and there was hardly a starter on the field the entire second half. And, boy, that's nice when you got people recuperating from injuries and you don't have to keep them out there the entire game and so on. I think Coach Tomlin would love to be in that position as time goes. Of course, blowout games are always tougher for us to call, but that's okay as long as we're on the right side of the blowout. Then that's a good thing for staying healthy and starting to prepare for next week at halftime of the current game. And that sounds a little, I don't want to be flippant and disrespectful to the Cougars. This game isn't over yet, but it's looking pretty good for the Crusaders at this point.
4 plays, 45 yards, the numbers on that scoring drive. A 30-yard touchdown pass from Omey to Fairfield. Omey with his 2nd touchdown pass of the game, 29th touchdown pass of the season. Here's an onside kick, and Galvez does a nice job of covering it up at about the 48-yard line. So it's been a long time since St. Bernard's has recovered an onside kick.
Yeah, boy, have we seen one this year.
Early in the season, they
Maybe
recovered a
early
few.
on,
Yeah,
I don't remember.
you might have been in
it.
Hawaii
I
on the
might have
time.
been on a beach somewhere.
Yes.
but
While
you
the
know,
Crusaders were recovering onside kicks.
In the games that I've helped you broadcast, I have not seen them recover one yet. So
That's a good question for Chuck and Dr. Omey. The last time that you guys can remember St. Bernard's actually recovering an onside kick. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Cougars at the St. Bernard's 48. Cougars with their 5th possession of the quarter. Both teams have had the ball 5 times. Jones, once again under a heavy rush, will scramble, looks downfield, and completes the pass. And making a sliding catch at the 41-yard line is Ray.
Penalty flag down on the play.
Penalty thrown from the side, Judge. I think they got downfield. That's a receiver.
Okay.
So 10 was probably covered out there in the slot. I didn't catch the formation as the play started.
Okay, it's an ineligible receiver downfield, so 10, that would be Ray, was probably covered up on the play. That's what we talked with Coach Saunderson about earlier in this quarter as far as getting an explanation from him. And maybe if you have a chance at halftime, you can maybe touch base with the officials or talk with the Cougar coaches.
Back on there. 47.
Less than a minute remaining in the first quarter. St. Bernard's 26. So we'll see what happens now. Now we've got quads to the right with Trey split to the left.
Another flag.
And now Jones is going to be sacked back at the 39-yard line with 29.8 seconds to go, and we've got a couple of penalty flags down.
Sack on the play.
Yeah, number 7 in the four receiver side, number 7 Galvez was lined up on the line of scrimmage. Then he moved back, but the receiver on our side of the field, the 5th wideout, was not on the line of scrimmage. They only had 6 guys on the line of scrimmage, and so that they're having a little trouble there.
Yes. They're a little bit out of sync offensively, yes.
Yeah, and that, you're trying to get a little tricky with this stuff, and boy, your players got to know what's going on as well. So.
Okay, Galvez is now in the backfield with Jones at quarterback. St. Bernard showing blitz. They've got quads to the left. Jones is going to step up on 2nd and long, and once again the pass is going to be dropped by Ray. That's at least the 2nd pass that he has dropped today, and he was wide open out in the flat.
Wide open underneath. He gets a little run after the catch. He's gonna pick up a few yards after that. There were some Crusaders in proximity, but he's gonna get another 5 yards after the catch if he can hang on to it. That's the 2nd wide open, what should have been an easy catch for number 10, and it just clanked right off his hands onto the ground. So tough break for the Cougars there.
Going to be 3rd and 23 for the Cougars. They're going to go to Ray again, and he's going to drop another one. And Ray just taking his eye off the ball, Coach.
Yeah, I feel sorry for him. He's laying there and disgusted himself because he has dropped 3 easy passes so far today. And they've hit him right in the hands. So, I don't want to make excuses for him. Lack of concentration, trying to run before the catch. He's got to secure the ball before he can move it down the field, and he just can't seem to focus on the football right now.
Ray now will check out and try to regroup. 11.2 seconds left in the first quarter.
That's unfortunate. He's been running good patterns, and he's been open. So
it's going to be 4th and 23. Officials are now going to confer with one another.
Trying to get their story straight on who's eligible and who isn't, and well, you know what? These are confusing configurations they're running. If there's.
But credit to Coach Tomlin and his coaching staff, because it seems like they are right on top of the situation as far as knowing what to expect from Albany, and then also bringing it to the attention of the officials based on the fact that what they're doing is not legal as far as just the way they're lining up when you're talking about eligible receivers.
Yeah, and I think Albany got away with one early. The ball was thrown at the feet, and it was incomplete. There should have been a penalty on the play, and this time there's going on the far side of the field.
And they're going to go for it on 4th and 23. Jones looks left, now will throw downfield, and the pass is going to be caught at the 35-yard line, at the 30, at the 20, at the 10, at the 5, and into the end zone for the touchdown. So Shree on the receiving end of a 60-yard touchdown pass by Jones.
Yeah, so a little speed there, and caught a little sort of a slant pattern. He was wide open over the middle. There were defenders behind him, but he found a seam and darted right through, and a burst of speed. No one was going to catch him, and touchdown Cougars.
So a 60-yard touchdown pass from Jones to Shree with 0.3 of a second left in a first quarter that's going to end up lasting almost an hour, Coach.
Yeah, a lot of penalties, a lot of passing plays, and that's what happens with these style of games that go on.
Now it looks like the Cougars will go for 2. Jones looks to the right, now steps up, is going to throw it in the back of the end zone, and it's caught for the 2-point conversion.
Jason Wood, number 6, nice tall target in the back of the end zone there, going up catching the ball for 2 points.
So Jones to Wood for the 2-point conversion, and the Cougars are on the scoreboard, and the Cougar fans now with something to be excited about.
Yeah, well, the Cougars have found a little bit of a soft spot in the defense for St. Bernard's, kind of deeper than the backers and underneath the safeties there in the middle of the field. They're taking advantage of it. They've had open receivers dropping footballs, and they've made some completions there. That seems to be the only spot that the Crusaders are giving up any kind of ground, because the running game for the Cougars is yielding little to nothing so far in this game. They're going to need to throw the ball. So we'll see how Coach Tomlin adjusts to that, and as the game moves forward here.
So on 4th and 23, Jones connects with Shree for a 60-yard scoring play. And then they get the 2-point conversion on a pass from Jones to Wood, capped off a 4-play, 48-yard drive, and that makes the score 26-8. So similar to last night's game when Fortuna jumped out to a 21-0 lead, and then El Molino got on the scoreboard with a 63-yard touchdown pass. Kick is going to be picked up by Fairfield at the 13 on what will be the final play of the quarter. And Fairfield, with all kinds of running room, is off to the races, and he's finally going to be dragged down at the 27-yard line. So a 60-yard kickoff return by Fairfield on the last play of the first quarter. We will take a break in the action. At the end of one quarter, our score, St. Bernard's 26, Albany 8, and we'll be back with the second quarter right after this timeout. You got it. Thanks. Thanks, Tommy.
Great run.
That quarter.
That's the longest quarter of my life.
Yeah, it took over 50 minutes.
Did it really?
Let's see if we got any updates on the Raiders.
What happened to running the ball? What happened to 3 yards of a cloud of dust in a 2-hour football game?
Yes.
Of course, we've had a number of officials conferences that run a little longer.
Right.
Yeah.
Trying to
Exactly.
figure
They
out
sure
how
have.
to call that formation that they run.
So, Coach Johnson's their OC, Alberto. So if you can, or you can touch base with the mayor too. 60-yard kickoff return by Fairfield gives St. Bernard's great field position. They will have a first down at the Albany 27-yard line, leading 26-8 as we get ready to start the second quarter. There's Hagler in motion to the right. Omey wants to throw it to Hagler out in the flat, and the pass is actually a lateral as Hagler picks it up because they never blew the play dead. And Hagler alertly picked up that loose ball and picked up enough for a first down to the 16-yard line, Coach.
Yeah, the ball was thrown backwards, and tell you what, number 7, Galvez did a pretty good job of seeing that one coming, but
Omey runs the option, is going to pitch it to Hagler, and Hagler's going to be upended at about the 12-yard line by number 5. That's Mario Jones.
Yeah, did a good job, open field tackle there, taking Hagler's legs out from underneath him there, but still a nice gain of about 6 yards.
Yeah, you're right. I saw the same thing. Galvez with a nice read on the play, but then Hagler getting a fortuitous bounce, had the ball bounce right up to him, and ended up picking up a first down.
Yeah, good heads-up play to keep moving that ball up the field after he picked up the bounce.
2nd and 4 from the 11. Omey's going to keep it himself. He's at the 5, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown.
Yeah, a little lucky play there. The ball popped up in the air. The little read option exchange, or a little miscue, and Omey alertly catches the ball and takes off running with it.
So the ball bouncing the Crusaders' way as they now lead 33-8.
Yep, 2 plays in a row, getting nice bounces in the air and off the ground. So good job by the Crusaders executing there and moving down the field quickly. Again, just a couple of plays and they're in the end zone.
3 plays, 27 yards. Thrapp will attempt the extra point. Snap spot, the kick by Thrapp is up, and it is good. So we're going to take a break in the action with 11:03 remaining in the first half as some of the fans now making their way to Crusader Field. St. Bernard's comfortably in front. They lead by a score of 33-8, and we'll be back with more right after this timeout. Thank you, Tommy. Omey touchdown. That's his. Yeah. Just over it.
14.
That's his 14th.
14th rushing, I'm assuming.
Wow.
His 14th touchdown
Thrown 20.
27 plus 2 today.
Yeah, thrown 29 and rushed for 14.
Okay, thanks, Tommy. It's a disaster. Nice kick by Thrapp that's going to be picked up at the 6-yard line by Shree, and good coverage by St. Bernard's as Shree with a very short return to about the 10.
Yeah, that's almost a coffin corner kickoff in a way. The ball stayed in the field of play down inside the 10-yard line, kind of bouncing around, and the returner is kind of like, is this going to go out of bounds or not? And the ball just died. He had no choice but to pick it up, try and make something out of nothing, and the coverage was right on top of him. So perfect kick. We saw Fortuna do that last night. And that's the second time today that the Crusaders have put the ball down in the corner of the field, far away from the returner.
Yeah, Cougars started this drive deep in their own territory at the 10. Empty backfield for Jones, who's directing traffic at the line of scrimmage. He's going to roll to the right, looks across the middle, and he had a man open, and the pass was overthrown. It was intended for Wood, who had a couple of steps on Taylor.
Yeah, they're really, Cougars are really paying attention to the center of the field. The linebackers are stepping up hard. They're blitzing quite a bit, and they're trying to throw it over where the middle linebacker would be in coverage, and right underneath the safety. There's a soft spot in the defense there, and they're trying to take advantage of it. So,
and Jones has had some success in finding receivers open in that part of the field.
Yeah, if the unfortunate Owen Ray had made those 3 catches, he'd have had some nice yardage piling up.
Going to be 2nd and 10 at the 10. Once again, an empty backfield. Jones looks right now, and he is being pressured, and he is going to be sacked back at the 2-yard line. Look like Finoti and Gordon
Yeah, Gordon's having a field day out there from his linebacker position, and he's coming on a lot of plays. So it looks like he's that middle linebacker out there and just raising all kinds of cane.
They actually kind of moved him around. Yeah, they moved him. He's now lined up on the defensive line. St. Bernard's kind of moving some people around defensively.
But he looked almost untouched on that play, and Jones had no time to get rid of the football.
So now it'll be interesting to see what the Cougars do on 3rd and 16 at their own 4. As Jones now in the end zone. Jones is going to step up, being pressured, and he is barely going to avoid a safety as he is going to be tackled back at the 1 yard line.
Yeah, Gordon again providing the early pressure and forcing Jones out of the pocket. And St. Bernard's only coming with a 3-man rush on that play. They're really in deep prevent coverage here, and they're still getting great, pressure on the quarterback with just 3 guys. So they're kind of working the Cougar O-line here a little bit, especially on the edges, and Cougars got to find some kind of answer for that.
Side can back in punt formation. Cougars have not punted today, but they better punt from their own 1.
Yeah, this is going to be a short snap and better be a quick kick.
There's movement.
Side can's going to get the punt away, and it's going to be kind of a line drive punt that will take an Albany bounce before being picked up by Fairfield at the 38-yard line. And Fairfield, with a couple of blockers, is going to run down the end zone and then do a as a celebration, as he just couldn't help himself.
No. Well, you know what? He bobbled and bobbled and bobbled, and he's picked up the ball and stayed low and darted through a couple tacklers, and then some of the other Cougars were coming right at him, took bad angles, and touchdown Crusaders. Unfortunately, the little celebration somersault. You hate to see that. I understand it. Kids are young, they're excitable, but if this is a close game, that's a big penalty.
And they see guys do it on TV. That's where it starts. I mean, I'm sorry. And then when Sports Center, when the networks love to show these celebrations, it's going to trickle down to the college level, and in this case, the high school level.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the
Couldn't agree with you more.
The old, Owens and all those guys pulling pens out of their socks and just, goofy stuff like that. It's like, my philosophy's always been act like you've been there before.
Exactly.
And just play the game. But you can't help it. These are young guys, and, they're kids, and they're learning, they're developing, they're maturing as they go. But you can't do that in a close game.
And the extra point by Thrapp is up and good, so we're going to keep it right here. 37-yard punt return for a touchdown by Fairfield. Fairfield has had a big day.
That's huge.
He's had a 48-yard touchdown run. He's thrown a 70-yard touchdown pass. He's caught a 30-yard touchdown pass. And he has scored on a 37-yard punt return. So he's had a touchdown run. He's had a touchdown reception. He's had a punt return for a touchdown. And he's thrown a touchdown pass.
Yeah, he's hitting for the cycle, I guess, for lack of
one way of looking at it.
And that doesn't even count all the long returns. He's had some kick returns today that were 60 and 70 yards, and kickoffs and so on. And he is racking up the yardage and putting the ball in the end zone and having an enormous day. But we're going to subtract 15 from his total here for that.
Exactly, we should. They're gonna, and I can just see that coming. I saw him slow up, and I said, no.
Oh, here he goes.
And he's gotten a few penalties this year. And at times, he can be a little bit undisciplined. I'm trying to be politically correct. Don't want to throw anybody under the bus.
Well, he's excitable, very young.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, can kind of be a little bit. He plays with a lot of passion, plays with a lot of emotion. And sometimes that could be a good thing, but sometimes that could work against you, as the kickoff return is going to be fielded at the 35 and then returned to midfield by Shree.
Yeah, pretty good field position, unfortunately, and a lot of it has to do with that penalty yards.
Sure.
It was marched off before the kickoff here, but St. Bernard's defense playing very effectively out there, and I think they'll. This is not one of those kind of penalties. This game, that penalty isn't going to hurt them that much, but. You just don't want to see it. So,
Yeah, there's really no excuse for that type of thing, and it's just kind of a it's kind of
an earful from the coaching
it's
staff.
kind of a product of our society. I mean, I call me old school, but I'm proud of it. But when we played or when you played, players didn't even think about doing that type of thing. As the pass is complete out in the flat to Shree, who will cut up field and pick up about 7 yards to the 43-yard line. Stuff like that wasn't even on our radar.
No, there was no trash talking to any level.
Right.
Not a big level. There's a few comments here and there, sort of whispered into an ear hole now and
And
then.
there were rivalries, and but everything was settled on the field.
Yes,
for the most part.
And the NFL set some pretty bad examples for young people.
And now they encourage these end zone celebrations. Man opens across the field and the catch is made by Wood, and he's going to score a touchdown on a 43-yard touchdown pass from Jones to Wood, and Wood makes a nice one-handed reception.
Yeah, St. Bernard's did it earlier, a little one-handed grab, and now they're coming in favor here on a nice long touchdown pass. Pass was thrown perfectly, one-handed grab, brings it in, uses his speed, number 6, Jason Wood. Who's been having a pretty good day catching the football and touchdown Cougars. So quick strike again. Cougars taking advantage of that soft spot in that zone in the middle of the St. Bernard's defense.
8:11 remaining in the first half. 2 plays, 50 yards, the numbers on the drive. Touchdown comes on a 43-yard touchdown pass from Jones to Wood. And the Cougars are going to go for 2. Jones looks left, now will scramble, and he's going to lob it downfield, and it's going to be intercepted. So we're going to keep it right here. We've got a shootout on our hands. 8 minutes and 11 seconds remaining in the first half. The two teams have combined to score 54 points. St. Bernard's leading by a score of 40-14. And this game is not even 16 minutes old. So they have scored 54 points in less than 16 minutes, Coach.
Yeah, it's quite a score fest out there. And just when you get the sense that maybe the Crusaders can, kind of ice this one away a little bit, even though it's only, there's 8 minutes left in the second quarter. They put 40 points up. And, credit the Cougars. They're fighting. And, they're putting points on the board, and they're doing what they can to stay in this football game down by 26 points.
Jones with 2 touchdown passes today. Now has 13 this season. A 60-yard touchdown pass to Shree and a 43-yard touchdown pass to Wood. Shree with 3 touchdowns this year. Wood with 5. Sycan will now kick off. He is going to kick off from the 40-yard line. Fairfield is back deep for the Crusaders, along with Hagler and Taylor. It'll be kind of a squib kick that's going to bounce a couple of times, and it's finally going to be picked up. Looks like it's going to be picked up by Biddle's back there at about the 15, and Biddle kind of panicked a little bit. He did have enough time to pick it up and try to return that squib kick, but decided just to kind of make sure that he did not fumble the ball, and he just kind of covered it up, Coach.
Yeah, and the coverage was pretty good by the Cougars there, but he went down to a knee and just tried to make sure to secure the ball. Because you want to maintain possession. That's the top priority, and Crusaders are moving the ball well. So.
First down at the 15-yard line. They give it to Hagler, who gets to the outside, and Hagler's still on his feet. Just kind of running over defenders. Is finally going to be brought down at the 35-yard line by Jones and Rodriguez, but not before he picks up 20 yards.
Yeah, nice little sweet play to the offensive left and stringing out the Cougar defense there. It cuts upfield, makes a nice game.
Just under 8 minutes remaining in the quarter. This time they're going to give it to Hagler, who's going to run to the right, and Hagler's going to be brought down after about a 4-yard gain out to the 39-yard line. St. Bernard's today on their scoring drives, 2 plays, 55 yards. 1 play 28 yards, 1 play 70 yards, 4 plays 45 yards, 3 plays 27 yards. Now Omey wants to throw, and his pass is going to be caught. That's Thrapp over on the far side of the field. He's going to cut upfield and pick up enough for a first down out to the 48-yard line.
Yeah, nice throw right on the button, and Thrapp did a good job of getting up there with his hands and making a good catch and spinning to the back toward the center of the field and avoiding a tackle and reaching out for a first down.
So a first down at the 47, and they pitch it to Hagler, who's going to lob it back to Fairfield, who wasn't paying attention. Fairfield loses his helmet. The ball is loose at about the 42-yard line, and it's recovered by the Cougars. Coach, I'm going to let you have fun describing what just happened.
Well, we had a read option play, and Omey drew the defensive end to him. He pitches the ball to Hagler, and the linebacker, who has pitch responsibilities, came up and took Hagler, had Hagler wrapped up. He pitched the ball backwards
To Fairfield, who wasn't even looking.
Wasn't even looking. He was like facing and walking toward the sidelines, and he went and got a hand on the ball, but couldn't secure it. And then the Cougars jumped on it. A big turnover here, and yeah, that was really an ill-advised backward pitch by Hagler. I don't. You know, he had some yardage there. He had picked up a couple of yards, but boy, yeah, that was a big mistake by the Crusaders.
First down for the Cougars at the Crusaders 37. Jones with time. Now steps up. There's a flag down. Jones is going to scramble, and he's going to pick up about 3 yards to the 34 before being brought down by Thrapp and Gordon. But there is a flag down behind the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be a holding call against the Cougars. It looked like Fairfield was almost like walking over to the sidelines to try to figure out what the next play call was going to be.
He was going to come over and get the play from the coach and run it back out, thinking, okay, Hagler's going to be tackled right there. And, yeah, he had no idea. And then all the yelling and hollering, he made an attempt to recover the football, but came up a little short. So
it was recovered by either Brown or Sycan, either number 51 or 61. Penalty's going to move the ball back to the 48.
Well, my guess is Coach Tomlin at halftime is going to have to regroup some of the, they're getting a little sloppy. Maybe, I don't want to use the word cocky, but, you just kind of,
overconfident.
You got to take what you're given sometimes and settle for a 4-yard gain or a 2-yard gain. It's okay. Not every game play is going to be a touchdown.
First and 25 from the 48. The pass is going to be caught by Wood, and Wood's finally going to be brought down by Omey near the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Wood doing a good job today. He's made some nice catches for some nice gains. So just a quick hitter on the right-hand side away from the multiple receiver side. And
second down, 2 yards to
in
go.
coverage wasn't bad, but nice pass and catch.
Yeah, no surprise. Wood, the leading receiver for the Cougars coming into today's game with 32 catches, Coach, and he's showing us why.
Good speed and a strong kid, yeah.
Second and 12. Quad formation to the left, and they're going to dump it out in the flat, and the pass is going to be caught.
Omey doing a great job. He had kind of lost his footing, but he still made a lunge at Wood's feet and brought him down. So good job by Omey to maintain enough presence to reach out there and stop him before he got a big gain out of it.
Wood picks up about 4 on the play. It's going to be 3rd and 7 for the Cougars as we approach the 5-minute mark in the first half. St. Bernard's 40, Albany 14. Quad formation to the right. It's Galavez in the backfield. Jones now will roll to his right, and then he is going to get hit, and the ball is going to be picked up by Finoti, who's at the 40, who's at the 30, he's at the 20, he's at the 10, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown.
By Finoti after quarterback was hit and ball came loose. I didn't see who made the contact on Jones, but the ball came loose and Finoti picked it up and ran a good 60 yards for a touchdown here. And one turnover leads to another, and here we go. So the Crusaders again up on the board. A big heads-up play by Finoti to grab that ball and run.
So a 55-yard return of that fumble by Jones.
that he was hit and the ball came loose just as he was preparing to throw, but I didn't see his arm coming forward and that ball came loose. So
Touchdown comes with 4:58 remaining in the first half. So St. Bernard's now with a defensive touchdown. They had a special teams touchdown on that punt return by Fairfield. Good to see Manny Machado from News Channel 3 in the house. Manny roaming the sidelines, acknowledging us up here in the booth. Nobody works any harder than him as the extra point by Thrapp is wide to the right. Keep in mind, every Friday night, 3 deep coverage. Manny and Victor do an outstanding job. Scores and highlights, the sideline pass, and of course, the question of the week. Question of the week for you. Last night's question of the week. Big Four Conference. You being a former coach, this is right in your wheelhouse.
All right.
Big Four Conference Coach of the Year. Little Four Conference Coach of the Year. You can tell me who your vote was, who your vote would have been. Andrew Butler covering the game for the Time Standard. I'll tell you who Andrew picked. I'll tell you who Manny picked. I'll tell you who I picked after we get your picks as far as Coach of the Year in the Big Four and Coach of the Year in the Little Four.
do I have a minute?
Of course you do. Of course you do. Do you want everybody else's picks or do you want to wait?
No. I don't
Okay.
want to be swayed by the
Influenced,
early votes.
exactly,
Yeah.
by the experts. Of course, you don't want to be influenced by the experts. 4:58 left in the first quarter. St. Bernard's now in front, 46-14.
So I'm kind of torn in the Little Four between Arcata and Hoopaw. It's kind of a tough call, but
And I will give you permission to do the co thing. That's
okay.
that. I'm
Well,
okay with
I'm
that.
going to go co there, and then
Okay.
I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to give it to Jason White, undefeated, and outstanding season by the Loggers. He's got a great team there.
Thrapp's kick is going to be taken by Jones at the 27, and Jones is across the 35. He's across the 40 and out to the 42. Penalty flag down. Okay, if I remember correctly, in the Little Four, I went with Willie Sims, first-year head coach at Hoopaw Valley, and Manny went with Willie Sims from Hoopaw Valley. I want to say, I think Victor, Manny's sidekick, and Andrew Butler went with Jamal Jones at Arcata.
Oh, so I didn't break the tie.
No, well, no, not at all. 2.5, 2.5. No. So a first down at the 42 for the Cougars. Cougars moving from our left to our right, trailing 46-14. And now we've got a penalty flag down as Wood was kind of going in motion. Now it's going to be an offsides penalty against St. Bernard's. Okay, Little Four, Big Four.
Big Four, yeah. I'll go with Jason White, but Louis Nova's running a close second. They're 8-2, and they had a nice run through league play, only losing to Eureka. So he had a nice season as well, and they seem to be peaking at the right time.
So 1st and 5, and I think that what may have happened is St. Bernard's might have been offsides again.
Lining up in the neutral zone.
And I think it might have been Hamanaka who just lined up in the neutral zone, and that gives Albany a first down. Jim Seaman making the call. Hamanaka now will back off the line of scrimmage a little bit, but a first down for the Cougars at the 48. That's Wood in motion to the left. Jones looks left, wants to throw it to Wood, and the pass is incomplete. Coverage on the play by Taylor, who was running stride for stride with Wood down the sidelines. I believe Manny also went with Jason White, and also going with Jason White would be Andrew Butler from the Time Standard, the sports editor at the Time Standard who's covering today's game. Victor and myself both went with Louis Nova.
Yeah, I can see either way, but a 10-0 season is pretty tough to not go for Coach White.
Going to be 2nd and 10 for the Cougars. Jones now will step up. He's being pressured. He's going to try to dump it off, and the pass is incomplete. The pass was intended for Shui, and the pass ended up falling incomplete, but there's a couple of late flags down.
You know what? I'd have to see the film, but in my eyes showed me that ball was well past the receiver before there was contact. So if they're calling pass interference, I don't agree with that call. If they want to call late contact or something, that maybe, but
And it is going to be a pass interference penalty against St. Bernard's. So thanks to some defensive penalties against the Crusaders, Albany has picked up 2 first downs on this drive, and they now have a first down at the Crusaders' 33. Quad formation to the right with Galavez in the backfield. Jones fakes the handoff to Galavez, and then will keep it himself, and he's going to be tackled in the backfield for a loss by the freshman Smallwood, who continues to play at a very high level.
Yeah, did a great job from his outside linebacker position over there, and catching Jones and dragging him down. And I'm guessing that most days, if there's a foot race, Jones is going to win that. But Smallwood did a great job of keeping his feet moving and taking a good angle on the quarterback and bringing him down for a loss.
Smallwood, who's only 14 years old.
Wow.
Going to be 2nd and 15. Jones now being pressured, and he is going to be sacked by Smallwood back at the 47-yard line.
Yeah, blitz up the middle. St. Bernard sent the house on that play, and they had at least 6 guys with pass rush. And Smallwood darted from his middle linebacker position there right up the center, untouched.
And the Cougars are going to take a timeout. We'll keep it right here. 3 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the first half. St. Bernard's comfortably in front. They lead by a score of 46-14. Real quickly, in taking a look at the scoreboard as far as other games taking place today at the high school level and at the college level, is Ray Hamill, who does a great job with his website, HumboldtSports.com, roaming the sidelines and taking some pictures right now. Division 5 playoff action today. This afternoon at 1:30, Berean Christian, the number 6 seed, is entertaining the Ferndale Wildcats, the number 11 seed. That's a 1:30 kickoff down in the Walnut Creek area. And then tonight in Napa County, the number 7 seed, St. Helena, will be hosting the number 10 seed, Hoopah Valley. Those are the 3 high school games being played today. And then, of course, as we speak right now, Humboldt State at home playing Azusa Pacific University in a great Northwest Athletic Conference game up at the Redwood Bowl. Going to be 3rd and long. Jones wants to throw, and Jones is just going to kind of throw this one away.
To who?
Threw that one over to the sidelines. Threw that one to the guy standing in the 3rd row.
Yeah. We got 4th down. Is that a grounding now? Got to be.
There's no flag down. That's the thing that's amazing.
The white hat just dropped the flag. Yeah.
Right. And it is going to be intentional grounding. It's going to be a loss and down.
He wasn't outside the tackle box, and he just hucked that thing over the bench, and there wasn't a receiver anywhere near it.
Cougars and Lumberjacks in a GNAC game up at the Redwood Bowl. That's a 1 o'clock kickoff. Expecting a big crowd for that game. As of right now, it's going to be the last home football game played at Humboldt State, which is just hard to say, to be honest with you. It hurts me to say that. Now we've got all kinds of movement along the line of scrimmage.
Backing up again. Cougars are really shooting themselves in the foot here, and they're going to get St. Bernard's pretty good field position on this punt return with 3:30 left in the half. Yeah, it's really sad. I got a Humboldt sweatshirt
Good for you.
Today,
yep.
And,
I got a Humboldt shirt in my car.
I got all of my degrees from Humboldt State, masters and bachelors, and yeah, I really hate seeing.
Sycan now is in trouble, Coach.
Oh,
and now he's going to throw it. He's going to throw it to Ray, who this time catches it, and then Ray is going to be tackled at about the 37-yard line. So help me describing that one, Coach.
Well, the snap was offline. The punter stepped to his right, or basically jumped to his right to catch the ball. And Crusaders defender was right there and pressuring him, and as he was being tackled, he kind of underhand flipped the ball to Ray, who did catch the ball and moved the ball up the field a little bit, but he had a long way to go to get a first down, and Crusaders have great field possession here.
You know, nice heads-up play by Sycan, because he was on the verge of being tackled, realized it was 4th down, had nothing to lose.
Yeah.
just kind of threw it, and Ray happened to be there. There's a low snap. That's Joyner, quarterback. He's going to hand it off to Hagler, who's hit behind the line of scrimmage and will finally be brought down back at the 42-yard line.
Yeah, Cougars defense doing a great job out there. Looked like number 3 is stringing that play out. Logan Taylor way out to the sideline, and or was it him? Or maybe it was number 2. Did a good job of stuffing that. Hagler tried to break it back inside a little bit. Pursuit was coming, and Cougars defense doing a good job.
Loss of 5. It's going to be 2nd and 15. Under 3 minutes remaining. And Joyner now will pick up the low snap. He's going to roll to his left. Now will roll back to his right as he is being chased. He gets to the edge. He's now at midfield. Looks downfield. And the pass is going to be caught at the 13-yard line by Thrapp. There's a couple of flags down. Thrapp made a diving circus catch at the 13-yard line as the ball ended up going through 2 defenders. And then on top of that, it's going to be a roughing the passer penalty against the Cougars.
Well, scrambled left, scrambled right. He was giving up a lot of yardage there. He was probably 25 yards behind the line of scrimmage at one point. Got some yardage forward, and before crossing the line of scrimmage, hucked the ball down the sideline. And nice, Thrapp did a good job of concentrating on that ball, making a nice catch right on the sidelines with 2 defenders. So, big play by the Crusaders. Certainly went their way on that particular down.
So it's going to be 1st and goal at the 8. Joyner doing a nice job. The sophomore doing a nice job just extending that play, coach.
Well, yeah, and he was in trouble from the beginning because the last 2 snaps have been right at his ankles. So I'm not sure what's going on with the center exchange there in the shotgun, but that one a little bit.
Joyner back to pass. They want to set up a middle screen. They do. They dump it off to Hagler, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown.
Well executed, and Hagler found a nice seam in the middle and just won't stand untouched.
And St. Bernard's now leads 52-14.
And there's still 2.5 minutes left in the half.
I was kind of hoping to get up to watch the end of that Azusa Pacific Humboldt State game, but I'm not sure. That was a 1 o'clock kickoff. I'm not sure whether that is going to happen or not.
Well, I'm predicting a running clock in the 4th quarter, so that might make up for.
Might help me out.
But this has been a long half, and a lot of scoring plays and a lot of penalties. And might set an all-time record for a half of football here, whatever that might be.
So 3 plays, 37 yards as the extra point is no good.
No good.
Thrapp misses another one.
Yeah, a little off on the Pia Thrapp's done a lot of things today. Well, but his PAT kicks are not sailing through this afternoon.
8-yard touchdown pass from Joyner to Hagler. And St. Bernard's leads 52-14 with 2:25 remaining in the first half.
From tonight's game on 49ers Cal High Sports Report, joined Robert Ronstein and Aubrey Collier for the best in high school sports.
66 points
49ers
in the
Cal High
first
Sports
half
Report airs
alone.
every Sunday night at 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. on
minutes left to play
NBC
still.
Sports California.
See the
and
Cougars
replays
can
throughout
muster
the
a little
week
momentum
on
here
NBC
and,
Sports California.
A few minutes left to play.
Joyner with the touchdown pass. That is his 3rd touchdown pass of the season. And then Hagler getting into the end zone.
It was 10th, I believe.
That is his first touchdown of the game, his 10th of the season. Thank you, Coach. It's always great that it's always nice to have numbers to work with. That just kind of and.
Well, it quantifies the type of season the Crusaders are having. We were talking about, Omey being responsible for 40 touchdowns this year. And, it's...
Thrapp with a pooch kick that's going to be picked up at the 17-yard line by Shree. And he's going to try to get to the outside as he runs to his left. And he's going to be brought down at about the 25.
We've got a Crusader down. Number 17 is down.
That is Octavio Romo.
It's like the wind knocked out of him.
Ended up being hit at about the 25-yard line. There's a flag down on the far side of the field.
So it looks like
It's one of those deals here where they hitting a defenseless player is basically what it is, and that might have been what happened to Romo.
illegal contact. But
Yep.
he was hit over here. The flag's way over there, so I'm not sure if the injured player was. You know what? It looks like he got the wind knocked out of him.
We hope that that's the case, as he now is being attended to with 2:18 remaining in the first half. St. Bernard's leading by a score of 52-14.
Yeah, I see the coach kind of lifting him by his belt, and that's usually the remedy for having the wind knocked out of you.
Which is kind of a helpless feeling when that happens.
Oh yeah, you know, panic sets in. I've had it happen a few times, and boy, when you can't breathe, it's sends some funny signals to your brain. And but he looks like he's going to be fine. And
Romo, 5'6", 130, a sophomore, able to walk off the field under his own power, and he appears to be okay. It seems like you're exactly right that he just got the wind knocked out of him.
Penalty assessed against Albany.
when that happens, or cramps happen, the trainers, the signals are pretty obvious.
And Jones wants to throw on first down, looks across the middle, and the pass was dropped by Wood. That was a nice throw by Jones, who's now down. Jones ended up stepping up in the pocket and threaded the needle, but Wood ended up dropping the pass at about the 35.
Yeah, Jones taking a beating out there. The St. Bernard's pressure has been all over him, and he's getting hit on most of these plays. And again, that soft spot in the St. Bernard's defense are trying to exploit it, and Jones is throwing a nice ball, and Woods doing a great job today, getting open and making catches. That time he couldn't quite hang on.
Quads to the left with Galavez in the backfield. It's going to be 2nd and 10, and we've got a whistle and a stoppage of play before the snap.
Defense on the play against the Crusaders.
2:12 remaining in the first half. Make sure you stay with us at halftime.
Brings up 2nd and 5.
We will recap the scoring, or attempt to recap the scoring in the first half. We'll look at some first half numbers. We'll also take a look at the scoreboard. So 2nd and 5. And this time they're actually going to run the ball as they give it to Galavez, who gets to the outside and breaks a couple of tackles before being brought down at the 23-yard line. Harmon Daniel making the tackle along with Biddle.
Little sweep play to the left, little toss play to the left. Galavez, he's a big guy. He's a big load. He gets a head of steam. He doesn't go down very easily, and picked up a couple of yards. Not what you call a burner of a running back, but he's one of those guys that he can get you the hard yard when needed.
Going to be 3rd and 3 for the Cougars. They have the football at their own 22, going from our left to our right. Jones is going to look downfield, and the pass is incomplete. The pass was intended for Williams, who was well covered on the play by Threpp.
Yeah, and it looked like Williams actually had a chance. If he had adjusted that ball a little bit better, it was catchable. But he didn't. He didn't move to the inside of the ball, underthrown just a hair, and missed opportunity there.
So it will be 4th and short, and we will see if first-year head coach Amer Hawari decides to go for it on 4th and short. And it looks like the Cougars are. Galavez in the backfield. Now that's Wood in motion to the right. Taylor goes with him. Pass is going to be dropped by Wood. Good coverage on the play by Taylor. Wood would have had enough for a first down, but he just dropped it, Coach.
Yeah, it went right through his hands, and that's a little uncharacteristic. He's dropped his last two targets, and he's been catching the ball well today up until the last 2 times. So again, you kind of feel for Mario Jones back there. He's taking a beating. He's putting the ball up in the air, and he's had at least 5 that I can think of dropped passes from pretty open receivers today, and that doesn't help when you're running for your life and your receivers aren't catching the ball. So
Crusaders now with the first down at the Cougars 22, and Joyner wants to throw on first down, and his pass to the back part of the end zone is going to be caught by Taylor in the back left corner of the end zone, and Manny Machado right on top of the play, able to get footage of that nice touchdown pass from Joyner to Taylor, who went up and made a nice leaping catch.
Yeah, coverage was pretty good. He just went up and out jumped the defensive back, and high points the ball and comes down with it. So outstanding catch in the back of the end zone. Apparently came down with his feet in bounds, and Crusaders scoring in 58 points in the first half so far. And yeah, it's been a track meet out here in terms of scoring.
So Joyner with his second touchdown pass of the game, his fourth of the season. Thrapp now will attempt the extra point. Snap spot, the kick is up, and this one looks good, and it is good. So we're going to take a break in the action with 1 minute and 11 seconds remaining in the first half. It's St. Bernard's 59, Albany 14, and we'll be back with more right after this timeout. Perfect. Thanks, Tommy. Tommy, I'm just going to give you a heads up that things are probably going to go a lot faster in the second half. At this rate, we're probably going to have, running time in the fourth quarter. So I just want to kind of forewarn you that I'll do what I can from a break standpoint, but we should probably be in pretty good shape. Perfect, thanks. Hey, check on Taylor. That's his first touchdown of the day. How many's he got this season? Fairfield, Simone, Thrapp, Omey to Fairfield, Omey, Fairfield. That's his sixth of the year?
Yeah, he had 5.
Okay, perfect, thank you. All right, thanks, Tommy.
Joyner's third touchdown.
Second of the day, fourth. Kick by Petrucia is going to be covered up by Brown at the 38-yard line. So St. Bernard's, after stopping the Cougars on downs on the first play from scrimmage, 22-yard touchdown pass from Joyner to Taylor. Joyner with his fourth touchdown pass of the season, his second of the game, and Taylor scores his sixth touchdown of the year. The extra point was good by Thrapp, and St. Bernard's now leads 59-14. And you can tell right now that head coach Matt Tomlin has a lot of his backup players now in the game.
Yeah, it's kind of going the way he had scripted it in his mind, and he's getting to rest a lot of his starters and, not having to put them on the field.
Wood split to the right. They want to throw it to Wood, and it's going to be dropped by Logan Petrucia at about the 45-yard line because Wood was running down the field, and Logan did a nice job realizing what Jones is going to do, but then he just could not hang on to it.
Yeah, a little missed opportunity for a big interception there, and Wood was running a post right up the sideline and just a streak pattern, and the ball came out early, and Wood wasn't even looking for it, and so that would have been an incomplete pass either way, but missed opportunity and an interception there.
Empty backfield for Jones, 2nd and 10 at the 38. Jones being pressured now is just going to throw this one away as it's caught by Thrapp over on the sidelines.
Jones pass incomplete.
Another late flag here. There we go.
I think they're going to get him for grounding.
A delayed call, yes.
Yeah.
Intentional grounding.
And it's a spot foul, too, because it's going to go back at the 30-yard line, and it's also a loss of downs. And I know the rule is different at the high school level because I know at the NFL level, there's the tackle box. You have to get it back to the line of scrimmage. But the penalty will move it back to the 25, where it will now be 3rd and 23 with 59.6 seconds left in the half. Wood's going to be split to the right, empty backfield, quads to the left. Jones wants to step up and throw, and Jones is going to run with the ball. He's across the 30, and he spins to about the 35 before being brought down.
10 yards on the play. Brings up 4th down.
Looked like it was Daniel in on the tackle along with Gordon.
Yeah.
He ended up picking up 11 yards on that scramble. And it's now going to be 4th and 14, Coach.
Pocket again. St. Bernard's been getting great pressure on the quarterback all day today. The offensive line of the Cougars not doing a very good job of protecting their quarterback. He's had to scramble. He's had to throw under duress. He's been hit a ton of times. And credit Crusaders is blitzing on occasion. They're really making his life hard out there today.
Clock continues to move inside of 10 seconds, and Jones will throw it on 4th down, and his pass is going to be caught as the clock now will stop. Pass was caught by Shree, but it looks like he is going to be tackled very close to a 1st down.
Foot short.
Looks like it's short from here with 2.5 seconds to go. And now they're going to say it's a 1st down. So that's...
Our angle is bad.
Yes, we'll blame it on the angle, Coach. We will blame it on the angle. So...
for my eyesight.
Albany lines up quickly now, and now that's Jones under center with 2.5 seconds to go. So fully expect him to just ground the ball, and he does, but I don't think he's able to stop the clock before the end of the 1st half. There were 2.5 seconds left.
Well, the center had a little bit of trouble. I mean, he wasn't down on the ball like he should have been from the very beginning. He stood up, turned around, asked something, and then they wound the clock. By the time he turned back around and got his hands on the ball, it was, the clock was going to run out. So just another miscue.
That's Trujillo, who now is talking with one of the assistant coaches about that mix-up, because I believe that Albany was out of timeout, so that's why they didn't call a timeout with 2.5 seconds to go. But unfortunately, they were not able to spike the ball and stop the clock before time expired in the 1st half.
Yeah, a fair number of miscues, and Cougars have shown a few signs of life out there. They got one or two stops on defense, but put a couple in the end zone on big plays. But all in all, their execution's not been all that good today, and they're struggling out there for sure. And St. Bernard's is just putting on a track meet, running up and down the field, scoring touchdowns. So another blowout on the North Coast.
Go find some nuggets for me at halftime. Can you do that, Coach? See if anyone wants to do that. St. Bernard's cheerleaders now performing at halftime. Our score at halftime: Crusaders 59, the Cougars 14. Coming up next, the halftime show will recap the scoring in the 1st half. We'll look at the 1st half numbers, and of course, we'll take a look at the scoreboard. So our score at halftime: the 5th seeded St. Bernard's Crusaders 59. The 12th seeded Albany Cougars 14. And we'll be back with the halftime show right after this timeout. Why don't we go with the 2-minute timeout, Tommy? Great, thank you. Keeping up with everything?
Trying. I've been on this field in a long time.
Really? How you doing?
Good, you?
Good, man. You look good.
Yeah,
Looks
thanks.
like everything's going well.
Yeah.
Keeping busy?
Yeah.
What are you up to?
Just working for Chuck.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I love
Good.
it. Every minute of it.
Fantastic.
Helping out, help my kid do Little League baseball this year, so I think I'll be back with St. John next year, hopefully.
Oh, okay.
I
Good.
took a year off.
Okay.
I've been doing it since I was,
How long have you worked for Chuck?
since April.
Okay, good.
So-
They're great people.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. What were you doing before that?
I was the area manager at Mission Linen.
Okay.
Running the show there and coaching and, so the game was good.
Welcome to the halftime show. Tag Wotherspoon here at Crusader Field, along with Coach Dave Filippini. Our score at halftime: St. Bernard's leading Albany 59-14. Crusaders in complete control. The winner of this game will move on and play the number 4 seed, San Marin, next Saturday afternoon in Novato in the quarterfinals of the North Coast Section Division 4 playoffs, and St. Bernard's well on their way to a rematch with San Marin, a San Marin team that St. Bernard's beat last year in the North Coast Section playoffs, and St. Bernard's today wasting no time. Crusaders scored with 11 minutes and 20 seconds left in the first quarter. Crusaders receiving the opening kickoff, and on their second play from scrimmage, 48-yard touchdown run by Fairfield, his 10th touchdown of the season. The run failed on a 2-point conversion. St. Bernard's led 6-0. St. Bernard's then came right back after stopping the Cougars on their first possession of the game. St. Bernard's ended up getting an interception from Thrapp. Thrapp intercepted a pass thrown by Jones. And then on the first play from scrimmage after the turnover, Omey throws a 28-yard touchdown pass to Simone, who made a nice one-handed catch. Omey with his 28th touchdown pass in the season. Simone scores his first touchdown of the year. The extra point was good by Thrapp. That made the score 13-0. And then, after the two teams exchanged possessions, after stopping the Cougars on downs, the Crusaders scored on the first play from scrimmage, a 70-yard touchdown pass from Fairfield to Thrapp, who was wide open, as St. Bernard's running that trick play with Fairfield on a fly sweep, attempting his first pass of the season, and it was a 70-yard touchdown pass to Thrapp. Thrapp scores for the 12th time this year. The extra point was good by Thrapp. St. Bernard's led 20-0. Crusaders added to their lead. 4 plays, 45 yards. They score with 1:09 left in the first quarter. 30-yard touchdown pass from Omey to Fairfield. Omey with his second touchdown pass of the game, his 29th of the season. Fairfield scores his second touchdown of the game and his 11th of the season. The extra point was wide to the left. And then with 0.3 of a second remaining in the opening quarter, the Cougars got on the scoreboard. 4 plays, 48 yards, 60-yard touchdown pass from Jones to Shree. Jones with his 12th touchdown pass of the season. Shree with his 3rd touchdown catch. They get the 2-point conversion on a pass from Jones to Wood. That made the score 26-8. So St. Bernard scored the first 26 points of the game before the Cougars were able to get on the scoreboard. And then St. Bernard's scores with 11:03 left in the second quarter. 3 plays, 27 yards. 11-yard touchdown run by Omey, his 14th touchdown of the season. The extra point was good by Thrapp. That made the score 33-8. And then they get a 37-yard punt return by Fairfield. Fairfield with his 3rd touchdown of the game, his 12th of the season. The extra point was good by Thrapp. That put St. Bernard's in front 40-8. And then the Cougars score their 2nd touchdown of the first half. A 43-yard touchdown pass from Jones to Wood. 2 plays, 50 yards, the numbers on that scoring drive. They score with 8:11 left in the second quarter. Jones, second touchdown pass of the game, his 13th of the season. Wood scores for the 5th time. The pass failed on the 2-point conversion. St. Bernard's led 40-14. St. Bernard's would then add 3 more touchdowns, a defensive touchdown, kind of a strip sack. Finotti picked up the loose ball and ended up running 55 yards into the end zone for the touchdown with 4:58 to go. Extra point was no good. That made the score 46-14. And then Joyner came off the bench and threw 2 late touchdown passes with 2:25 left in the first half. 3 plays, 37 yards, an 8-yard touchdown pass, a middle screen from Joyner to Hagler. Joyner with his 3rd touchdown pass of the year. Hagler scores for the 10th time. Extra point by Thrapp was no good. St. Bernard's led 52-14, and then with 1:11 left in the first half, 22-yard touchdown pass from Joyner to Taylor. Joyner with his 2nd touchdown pass of the game, his 4th of the season. Taylor scores for the 6th time, and St. Bernard's comfortably in front at halftime by a score of 59-14 after the extra point by Thrapp. When we come back on the halftime show, we'll look at some first half numbers and we'll take a look at the scoreboard and our score at halftime. The 5th seeded St. Bernard's Crusaders 59, the 12th seeded Albany Cougars 14, and we'll be back with more on the halftime show right after this timeout. Thanks, Tommy. Sure, that's fine. All right, thank you. You keeping up with everything, Gary? It's a track meet out there.
Yeah, you know, it's for you.
Welcome to the halftime show. Welcome back to the halftime show. St. Bernard's in front by a score of 59-14. Always good to see Gary Agajanian at a game, and want to thank Gary for all of his support, being one of our sponsors. Gary and the good folks at Albie and Buck taking care of us. Good opportunity for us to thank all of our sponsors who make it possible to do what we do as far as covering high school sports here in the North Coast, whether it's the Fortuna Huskies or the St. Bernard's Crusaders. We would like to thank Madrone, Brick Fire Pizza and Tap House, California Body Shop, STS Rentals, Shawnifer Ranches, Bear River Casino, Omey Dental, Danco Construction, Timber Ridge, Poletsky's Appliance Center, Mendy's Supply, Albie and Buck, Mad River Lumber, the Redwood Meat Company, St. Bernard's Academy, Harrison K Market, Old Growth Cellars, along with Hole in the Wall, Hummel Tire and Wheel, Advanced Security Systems, George Peterson Insurance, Vern's Furniture, the Pearson Building Center, Larry Doss, Mingtree Realtors, and the Ferndale Enterprise. And if there's anybody out there that's interested in helping us out as a sponsor during the North Coast Section playoffs, feel free to call me or text me at 707-616-3799. St. Bernard's leading in halftime, 59-14. First game of a doubleheader here at Crusader Field coming up later on this afternoon at approximately 3:30. The St. Bernard's girls soccer team, who had a bye in the opening round of the North Coast Section Division III playoffs, they are the number 2 seed, and they will be entertaining the number 3 seed, Credo. That game scheduled to begin at 3:30 this afternoon. One of 7 local teams that are in action today when you're talking about the North Coast Section soccer playoffs at the Division I level. Tonight at Albee Stadium, top-seeded Eureka will be in action. That will be a 7 o'clock match tonight. And then down in the Friendly City, Fortuna, the number 2 seed, will also be in action at 7 o'clock. Arcata, the number 3 seed, they are hosting the number 6 seed, Roseland University Prep. And then the only local team, as far as the girls are concerned, that's on the road today in a match that starts at 2 o'clock down in Lake County, it will be the number 4 seed Middletown playing the number 5 seed McKinleyville. So with girls soccer, 5 teams from our area in action today as far as representing the North Coast. 4 teams at home, Eureka, Fortuna, and Arcata, along with St. Bernard's at home and McKinleyville on the road. As far as the boys are concerned, 3 boys teams still alive. Eureka ended up losing to Cloverdale in the opening round of the Division I playoffs, while Arcata, they ended up beating Willits in the opening round on Wednesday. Arcata now will play International down in the Bay Area. And Fortuna, who is the number 3 seed, they will host the number 6 seed Oakland Military. That's later on today at 5 o'clock. And then Del Norte playing Gateway in another quarterfinal round match as far as the boys are concerned. So 9 soccer teams, 4 boys teams, 5 girls teams qualifying for the North Coast Section playoffs. And when you talk about what's going on as far as what's happening, 9 teams qualified for the North Coast Section playoffs, and 8 of those 9 teams are in action today. The Eureka boys, the only team still no longer alive as far as the soccer playoffs are concerned. So that's what's going on with high school soccer here in the North Coast. With high school football, this game, one of 3 playoff games taking place today. A couple of Division V games taking place outside of Humboldt County. In a game that's already underway, what is happening is that the 6th-seeded Berean Christian is hosting 11th-seeded Ferndale in the Division V playoffs. And then tonight, it will be the number 10 seed, the Hoopah Valley Warriors, in the North Coast Section playoffs for the first time since 2011. They are going to be playing St. Helena down in Napa. And then in a game that's already underway up at the Redwood Bowl, Humboldt State hosting Azusa Pacific University. That was a 1 o'clock kickoff. College of the Redwoods with a bye this weekend. They will conclude the regular season on the road against San Jose City College down in San Jose next weekend. So that's a quick look at what's going on as far as taking a look at the scoreboard with high school and college football, and then of course taking a look at the North Coast Section soccer playoffs. So our score at halftime, it is St. Bernard's 59, Albany 14, and we'll be back with the second half kickoff right after this 1-minute timeout. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So Chuck, what's going on, man? What is going on? What is happening?
This is the route. I'm going to be surprised if it's not a running clock the whole second half.
You think so? Is that your prediction?
I don't
Can
call
we
it a
confirm
prediction.
that?
Maybe it's a wish more than a prediction.
It's more of a wish than anything.
These guys
else.
are getting embarrassed. We need
Wishful thinking?
Yeah. No, beautiful day for football. Here
Yes.
we are. I think
Yes,
I might
yes,
go to the
yes.
Eureka game tonight. I don't think it'll be much of a game.
What are you going to go?
The boys want me to go to the Eureka game tonight.
The soccer game?
No, we're going to stay for the St. Bernard soccer game.
Well,
within the,
which game are you going to
the
go to?
Eureka.
Football?
Yeah.
They
Not
got
here.
to buy.
Oh, what 7 o'clock game are you talking about?
Soccer, girls soccer. So you got to keep it straight now.
I got to keep it straight. I'd be going to something not even happening.
Well, you could end up watching the soccer game while you're over there.
They have some good players. Eureka does. Logan kicking.
Second half just underway. We've got a loose ball back at about the 13-yard line, as it was kind of a squib kick by Logan Petrucia, and it was number 8. That's Michael Luma, who had problems getting a handle on the ball and finally ended up just falling on it back inside the 15-yard line. I want to welcome back my broadcast partner. Might need you more so than ever in the second half.
We'll find things to talk about.
There you go. Of course, yes.
It's going to be something.
Pedro. There's a lot. Fantasy football. There's always something to talk about. We never run out of things to talk about. You wondered at halftime.
He was really
Yes.
happy at with the first half, and he says you're going to see a lot of fresh faces out there. Where offensively we're going to run the ball up the middle and run the clock, try and get out of here. And so that is the second half game plan.
So a first down for the Cougars. Looks like they've got the ball back at about their own 7-yard line. And I think we're going to have a safety.
Yeah. Looked like a little fly sweep action at number 12 there, and boy, that blown up right in the backfield.
So it was Shree on the fly sweep, and he was tackled by either Simone or Daniel. I couldn't tell.
I couldn't tell either, and whatever it was, it didn't work very well. They had 4 receivers to the far side, and that
I thought it was
bunch
Connor.
formation, and then number 12 was the single receiver on the right.
You thought it was who?
Connor.
And yeah, they ran a little fly sweep. And, it was blown up in the backfield by the Crusaders.
Connor.
Trying to get a.
Was it Connor? It was who?
Connor Petrucia.
So Connor Petrucia
56.
made the tackle in the end zone. All else fails, it's Petrucia. There we go, Chuck. Good work. Good work. Can we get confirmation on that? We want to look at the replay on that. But anyway, nice job by the Crusader defense.
Yeah, absolutely, and not a great start to the second half by the Cougars, who need to try and put something together to they're standing in a really deep hole right now, 61-14, and we're going to see a running clock in the fourth quarter, and it's not been very pretty.
So 61-14 our score. So Connor Petrucia tackles Shree in the end zone, and now it's going to be a short kick that's going to be picked up by Joyner near midfield, and Joyner with a short return. Good coverage on that free kick by the Cougars.
Yeah, Joyner did a good job of picking up the ball and securing it before taking off running. Kind of darted around a little bit for a couple of yards. But, Crusaders have great field position here, and you'll see. We're probably going to see a lot of running the ball between the tackles here, with a lot of fresh faces on the field, and cheering up some of the clock here with the running game.
Crusaders with the first down at their own 48. Okay, what we've got going on right now, we've got a teriyaki drive-through dinner supporting the St. Bernard's cheerleaders.
Oh, and we had some kind of procedure penalty that we have X12 on the field.
He got his mouthpiece out.
And mouthpiece.
Mouthpiece violation?
Yeah, that's the second time. Somebody came off earlier in the first half that didn't have his mouthpiece in, and they removed you from the field for a play.
And it looks like Cole Petruccia is going to check out of the game. And Cole trying to give Coach Tomlin an explanation as to what happened. Joyner's in the game at quarterback. And the handoff, I believe, is to Smallwood, who's in the game at running back. And he's going to get back to the original, near the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, just a little read option play. Smallwood doing a good job keeping his feet moving, broke one tackle, and picked up the nice 4.5 yards there, and second and long 10.
Freshman Braden Zimmerman was in the game, so we'll try to set the St. Bernard's offense for you. Split to the right is going to be Gordon. Split to the left is Logan Petruccia. That's Biddle now in motion to the right. They're going to fake the handoff to him. Joyner's going to keep it himself. Joyner breaks the tackle and will pick up about 3 yards to the 47-yard line, where St. Bernard's will now face a 3rd and 8 situation.
Yeah, you know, of course this is going to be boring by St. Bernard standards, but when your ultimate goal is to kill the clock, keep the ball on the ground, try and get a few first downs, this is the ultimate game plan here in the second half for Coach Tomlin.
3rd and 8. Joyner's going to pitch it to Smallwood on the option, and Smallwood will get to the edge before being pushed out of bounds at about the 30-yard line as he picks up 17 yards in the St. Bernard's first down.
17-yard gain.
Coach Tomlin telling Smallwood, stay in bounds, don't stop the clock.
30-yard line.
So, which is, just a young player mistake. He's a freshman. So, got a nice first down on the play. If he cuts back in field, gets tackled and, keeps the clock moving, would have been the perfect down for the Crusaders.
Biddle is slot to the left. That is Braxton Houseworth slot to the right. And they're going to hand the ball off to Smallwood, and he's going to be tackled in the backfield for a loss by number 65, Russell Trutane, and number 7, Gianni Galavez. So it's going to be 2nd and 12 for the Crusaders. Third quarter just underway. St. Bernard's leading 61-14 thanks to a safety earlier this half. Joyner wants to throw, and his pass is going to be caught by Petruccia, who's going to run down the sidelines and finally be brought down at about the 5-yard line.
Well, what a surprise there. Throwing the ball out to an open receiver. Nice catch and run after the catch by Logan Petruccia there, and almost put it in the end zone. Now we'll see how much time Crusaders can burn off the clock.
So it's going to be 1st and goal for St. Bernard's at the Cougars' 5-yard line. St. Bernard's going from our right to our left, empty backfield. Joyner at quarterback. That's Biddle in motion to the right. And before the snap, we have a flag down, and it's going to be a procedure penalty against the St. Bernard's offense.
Procedure called against the Crusaders, 5-yard penalty.
So it will be 1st and goal from the 10.
First down from the 10-yard line.
Joyner at quarterback. That's Smallwood now in the backfield. They're going to hand it off to Smallwood, and he is going to be brought down by Galavez for a 1-yard loss.
Had a little read option play there, and Galavez doing a good job. Linebacker position coming up, making a tackle, and
Simone will now check in the game and replace Smallwood at running back. Clock continues to move, 8:35 and counting remaining in the third quarter. So Simone now in the backfield with Joyner. Going to be 2nd and goal. They fake the handoff to Simone. Joyner is going to keep it himself. And Joyner's going to carry the ball to about the 4-yard line.
Read option play, doing a good job.
Brings up 3rd and goal for the Crusaders.
Doing a good job. Joyner there hanging on to the ball and running back to his left or behind his left guard and made a nice hole. And pretty good pickup. Third and long 3 here. 4.
So it will be 3rd and goal for St. Bernard's. Looks like Smallwood's back in the game as Simone has checked out. Opening round in the North Coast Section Division 4 playoffs. The winner of this game will play San Marin next Saturday afternoon down in Nevada. And it's going to be Biddle ending up with the ball. And Biddle's going to be tackled for a loss at about the 5-yard line.
Yeah, low snap. Joyner did a good job of controlling it, but you know when you're handing off on a fly sweep, it's a timing play, and the timing was not. It was not.
So Coach Tomlin taking a page out of Coach Benbow's book, doing the same thing that the Huskies did last night. Fortuna without Alano making 2 field goals in the second half. And now what's going to happen is that St. Bernard's is going to attempt a field goal.
Yeah, work on your kicking game. Why not? The PATs haven't been real consistent today. The kicking PATs, so Thrap, and so we'll see Petrucia line up here and see if he can put one through the uprights.
So Logan Petrucia will attempt a field goal, and the kick by Logan is up, and it is wide to the right. So it was a 22-yard field goal attempt that was no good. So the Cougars will get the ball back with 6:42 to go, trailing St. Bernard 61-14.
Yeah, the good news is St. Bernard's possessed the ball and took 3.5 minutes off the clock. So, that's helpful in this game because I can tell you right now, Coach Tomlin just wants this game to be over. For the most part over unless the Cougars put together some kind of scoring barrage, which I don't predict.
And you can see Finoti's got his pads off down here in front of us.
For the day, and rightfully so.
Got that ice pack. Taking care of his wrist that was injured a couple weeks ago. There's Jones back to pass, and Jones is going to be sacked back near the 10-yard line.
Yeah, I tell you, offensive line play for the Cougars has left much to be desired. This is St. Bernard's second group out there. I think 25 is the only dirty jersey on the field right now in terms of defensive line, and they're still with a 3-man rush putting all kinds of pressure on Jones, and he's just got nowhere to go.
7-yard loss back to the 13, and I think that today's a perfect example when you talk about competition and strength of schedule. And that definitely comes into play when you look at what happened with both these teams during the regular season, as it's going to be an inside handoff to Galavez, and Galavez with some running room is going to be pushed out of bounds by Simone at about the 28-yard line, but not before he picks up good yardage on that run.
Yeah, just a little off-tackle play, a little read option look, and Galavez doing a good job of being patient and picking up his blocks and moving up the field.
So a gain of 10. It will be 3rd and 2 for the Cougars. Cougars with the ball at their own 28. Just past the midway point of the third quarter. St. Bernard's 61, Albany 14. Jones barking out signals. Got that quad formation to the left with Galavez in the backfield. They're going to hand it off to Galavez, and Galavez is hit behind the line of scrimmage, then breaks a couple of tackles and picks up enough for a first down before being brought down at the 37-yard line. So a nice second effort by Galavez, who picks up 9 yards and a first down.
Yeah, Simone doing a good job of rushing over there and saving an even longer play of getting down around his ankles and making a tackle. Yeah, it's interesting looking at Division 4 with all the buys and not filling out the entire bracket.
Only 12 teams in the Division 4 bracket. So with that said, the top 4 teams have buys this weekend. As Jones is back to throw, and this time making a nice diving catch is Ray near midfield as he makes the catch and picks up 11 yards and a first down.
Yeah, good for Ray. He's he's been dropping a number of footballs out here today, and that was a pretty good catch for him.
Yeah, so you've got the top seed Moreau Catholic, the number 2 seed Del Norte, the number 3 seed Kennedy High School out of Richmond, who Fortuna will play next Saturday night, and then San Marin with byes in the opening round, Coach.
Yeah, you look at the quality of some of the competition in Division 4. I mean, El Molino last night had 4 wins, but 2 were by 4.
Right. So 1st and 10 from midfield, and the pass is going to be caught on a nice catch. It was just kind of a jump ball situation with Sri and Simone, and Sri was able to take it away from Simone and pick up 26 yards and make the catch at the 24-yard line.
Yeah, the coverage is right there, but Sri just kind of went up over the shoulder of the defender and got his hands on the ball and came down with it. So outstanding play by Sri there and for a big gain.
So 1st and 10 for the Cougars at the 24-yard line. Quad formation to the right with Jones at quarterback. Jones this time is going to fake the handoff. He's going to keep it himself. Jones is at the 15. He's at the 10. And he is going to be brought down near the 5-yard line. So a nice job by Jones reading the defense and picking up good yardage on that first down run.
From the 5-yard line.
Moving the ball down the field here. A chance to score.
So it will be 1st and goal at the 5. Gain of 20 yards on that run by Jones. That's Williams in the backfield. They're going to throw it into the end zone for Wood, and the pass is incomplete. Coverage on the play by Hamanaka.
Yeah, pretty good push off by Woods there, but no flag and no 2-point conversion. Or no touchdown, excuse me. Sorry.
No problem, Coach. You're excused.
Yeah.
Going to be 2nd and goal. No problem.
There's been too many touchdowns today.
Exactly. So 2nd and goal from the 5. Tag Wotherspoon along with Coach Dave Filippini, Chuck Petruccia, Dr. Luke Omey up here in the press box. Jones wants to throw across the middle, and the pass is incomplete. It was intended for Wood. Wood tried to make a leaping catch, but he was not able to climb the ladder and come down with it.
He had a fair chance at it. Ball was a little bit high, but just couldn't quite get his hands around it. Looking at 3rd and goal.
Going to be 3rd and goal from the 5. Vernon Brown is always doing a nice job as the public address announcer here at Crusader Field. Denny Catry, one of the best in the business, operating the scoreboard, and then of course, Coach Saunderson, Kyle Saunderson up here in the booth. Kind of the eye in the sky. So 3rd and goal at the 5. Jones rolling to his right, being pressured. He's running for his life, and he is going to be sacked back at the 18-yard line.
Yeah, 54, Cole Petruccia getting some good penetration over there, and was that 56?
No, it was Cole along with
Gordon.
Exactly. Kind of a jailbreak situation, Coach.
Yeah, well, with blitzing linebackers and good pressure. They've had poor Mario Jones back there running for his life all day today.
He's going to need an ice bath tomorrow, Coach.
Yeah, even when he completes a pass, he's still taking a hit, and it's just been not getting much support from his O-line. Let's just be frank about it.
So 4th and goal from the 18. Jones is going to sprint out to his right. He's going to keep it. He picks up a block. He cuts back, but he is going to be stopped well short of a first down. Cole Petruccia once again leading the way defensively for the Crusaders.
I thought for sure we were going to get a holding flag on that on their right tackle, but maybe the officials are letting 2 things slide here late in the game.
I want to say Cole's Tim's son, if I'm not mistaken, keeping track of those Petruccias. So Cole would be Connor and Logan's first cousin. Connor and Logan, cousins. Chuck's the dad. He's up here with us. Know your Petruccias. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for Joyner and the Crusader offense. Low snap. Joyner does a nice job picking it up and then avoiding a couple of tackles, and he's still on his feet. before being shoved out of bounds at about the 25-yard line.
Yeah, getting a little breathing room back against the end zone, and Joyner doing a good job of breaking a couple of tackles there, and kind of working his way around through the defense, and picked up a nice gain.
Gain of 16 yards.
Against Frito.
St. Bernard's with a first down at the 26. Under 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Crusaders 61. Cougars 14. There's Biddle in motion to the right. They're going to give it to him on a fly sweep, and he is going to be tackled for a big loss back inside the 20-yard line.
Yeah, Cougars doing a good job on the other side of their defense, stopping up the edge and making a big tackle there for a huge loss.
Loss on the play.
There's just nowhere for Biddle to run.
Looks like it was Trutain along with Logan Taylor making a nice defensive play. A loss of 6. So it will be 2nd and 16 at the 19-yard line. Empty backfield with Joyner at quarterback. Trips to the left. Joyner wants to throw to the left, and he just kind of throws this one away. The pass was intended for Logan Petrucia.
Yeah, there was a quick slant underneath Petrucia there. I'm not sure if he mistimed that or whatever. The ball was too short to go to Petrucia and too high to go to the slant receiver underneath. So it's kind of a tweener and fell incomplete.
Richard Jimenez putting pressure on Joyner. Jimenez, first-team offensive lineman and a second-team defensive lineman. He was very questionable going into today's game, and Joyner being pressured, and he is going to be sacked back inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, big blitz coming from the Cougars there, number 3. Coming off Logan Taylor, left side of the defense. Defensive end position over there, and
We've got 4th down for the Crusaders.
And Joyner just had nowhere to go. He was in the sights. So.
And it looks like St. Bernard's might have to punt for the first time today, Coach.
Well, I think most importantly is we've burned time off the clock here and taking a couple more minutes off the clock with this particular drive.
And it looks like that's Thrapp back in punt formation, and it's a short punt, but it will take a St. Bernard's bounce, and it's going to be down at the 37-yard line. So a 25-yard punt by Thrapp. The Cougars will get the ball back at their own 37 with 1:11 remaining in the third quarter.
Yeah, some of the programs in Division 4, I'm sure there are a couple of teams that might have been qualified that obviously
There were 2.
There were 2. And
Lower Lake, who had only 2 wins, but they had a good enough record to be playoff eligible, and then Drake, who I believe won 4 games. Both those schools were playoff eligible, but for whatever reason, they decided to not apply and turn in their paperwork.
Yeah, every coach has their own philosophy. There have been some discussions that I've had with other coaches at Arcata that should we play in the playoffs? And I'm saying, well, you got a young team, it's experience, it's a good thing. And
first down at the 37, they're going to dump it out of the flat. The pass is going to be caught by Taylor, and then Taylor, the one delivering the blow, is going to end up being tackled after a short gain, picked up about 3 yards on the play.
Yeah, just kind of lowered his shoulder and really leaned into one of the Crusader defensive players there and knocked him back.
Might have been Smallwood who was on the.
I think so. Yeah.
Got the brunt of that one.
But I think it really depends on your situation. If you're senior heavy and you're not very good, some coaches opt out. If you're a young team, you want some experience. It's kind of a coach's call for the most part.
On 2nd and 7, Jones is going to call his own number. He's going to keep it himself, and Jones is going to carry the football to about the 33-yard line, where it will be 3rd and call it 6. In order to be playoff eligible, one of 3 things has to happen. Your overall record has to be 500 or better. your league record has to be over 500 or better, or your record against teams in the same division have to be 500 or better. We'll continue that conversation when we come back for the fourth quarter. At the end of 3 quarters, it's St. Bernard 61, Albany 14, and we'll be back with the fourth quarter right after this timeout.
Your blue ticket number, 142. Sorry, I was getting a little carried away. It's the blue ticket today, folks. It's 899.
You there, Tommy?
599.
Okay, perfect. Oh, no problem. Keep an eye on Smallwood.
899-519.
Well, he got hurt in the Eureka game.
We have a winner.
Okay, yeah.
Remember earlier this year?
Yeah, he took a pretty
Super
hard shot
out.
there.
We got to check those numbers. We have your money up here in the booth.
Caffeine going.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Tommy. Welcome back to Crusader Field.
The numbers have been authenticated.
Going to have running time here in the fourth quarter. 61-14 our score. It's going to be 3rd and 6 for the Cougars. Like Galvez might have moved early, and now they're going to dump it off to him on a middle screen, and he makes the catch and picks up more than enough for a first down, as he is finally going to be brought down at the 21-yard line, a gain of 12 on the play. Did you see him kind of moving forward too, Coach?
Looked like
Yeah.
it,
Okay.
yeah. I'm not sure the refs are excited about dropping any more flags today.
Going to just kind of let him play. It's
Well,
like
maybe
expanding
their
the
arms
strike
are
zone.
tired. There's been a boatload of penalties today, mostly against the Cougars, but yeah, they've called a lot of penalties.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line for the Cougars offense. A quad bunch formation to the right with Galvez in the backfield. Jones is going to look into the end zone, and the pass is going to be knocked away by Petrucia. Nice job by Logan Petrucia. The pass was intended for Wood, and Logan doing a nice job turning around, finding the ball, and knocking it down, Coach.
Yeah, good coverage by Petrucia on that play, and got a hand out and knocked that ball away. And Wood's been their go-to guy
out there, number 6, and he's been open quite a bit and made some nice catches today, but good coverage by the Crusaders on that play.
Going to be 2nd and 10 at the 21. Running time here in the fourth quarter. Crusaders leading 61-14. Jones back to pass. Looks for Wood, and the pass is going to be caught by Wood at about the 10-yard line, and he's going to be close to a first down, and it looks like it will be enough for a first down. And the chain gang is going to drop the chains over on the far side of the field, because now it's going to be 1st and goal.
Yeah, ball just the nose of the ball just inside the 10, so can't get a first down here, but they have pretty much a full 10 yards to go.
A bunch formation to the right with Galvez in the backfield. Galvez and Jones then kind of run into each other, and Jones is going to carry the ball to about the 6-yard line, a gain of 4. So with running time, the only time that the clock will stop is after either a score, an injury, or a timeout.
Yeah, the Cougar offense just does not look in sync. They haven't looked in sync most of the day today, and they've completed a couple nice passes for long gains, but even some of their handoff and option plays just don't look clean.
They give it to Galvez, and Galvez is going to get into the end zone for the touchdown. So a 6-yard touchdown run by Galvez makes the score 61-20.
Galvez, big back, kept his feet moving and bounced off a couple of would-be tacklers and just broke the plane. So touchdown Cougars, and little bonus for some of these players. Put one in the end zone before they head home today. So
clock stops with 9:19 left in the fourth quarter.
Cougars lining up to go for 2 here.
7 plays, 37 yards. The numbers on that scoring drive, and this time they're going to hand the ball off to number 55. That is Jimenez, and he gets into the end zone for a 2-point conversion. And that's really a nice gesture. You know, Jimenez, one of the best players for Albany. They kind of throw him a bone, Coach, and being a former offensive lineman, you probably can appreciate that as much as anyone.
Absolutely. You know, you do a little something nice. You know, the guys have been working hard all year and say, hey, let's give this guy the ball, let him get over the goal line for a 2-point conversion here. And, yeah, why not? At this point, you know, I think Cougars have to pretty much concede this game's over as well. But they're, you know, they're out there and they're giving the ball to various people and just, you know, they're putting up a fight and they're going to go down. You know, they're going to leave this game hopefully leaving their best effort on the field. So.
Jimenez was a game-time decision after hurting his knee against Richmond last week. 6'1", 240, a senior. Good to see him in action today. 61-22, 9:19 to go. And Sycan will kick off from the 40-yard line. So we're going to maybe have a doubleheader next Saturday down in the Bay Area.
That sounds like it, yeah.
We'll see if we can make arrangements, make sure we get a police escort so we don't have to worry about traffic. I'm going to try to get from Novato to Richmond in time for the second game of our doubleheader. Here's Sycan with an onside kick. It's going to bounce a couple times. They blew the play dead, so I'm not sure what happened. Maybe somebody might have been offsides or procedure penalty. I know now in the NFL you can't get that running start when it comes to an onside kick.
Well, kicking game, you know, on all levels has been under a lot of scrutiny recently about all the injuries that take place, and they're trying to eliminate all those high-speed collisions on all the different levels of football. And, you know, it makes sense to a certain degree, but at the same time it changes the game, and you know, there are two schools of thought on it.
So a procedure penalty against the Cougars. That will move it back to the 35. Crusaders with their hands team out on the field. 9:14 to go in the fourth quarter. 61-22 our score. Special thanks to Tommy, our engineer, back in the studio. Want to welcome him back and want to thank him for all of his help today, because I almost lost my balance and went down. Here's Sycan with kind of a squib kick and doing a nice job of just covering that one up. Thrapp, remember that hands team, Omey was out there, and Thrapp covers it up in midfield.
Yeah, doing a good job of getting possession of the football, because with the running clock now, you run about 4 plays, take a couple more minutes off the clock, and with 8:55 left and counting left to play.
So the game next Saturday will be a rematch of last year's playoff game between San Marin and St. Bernard's. That was played here in the quarterfinals of the North Coast Section playoffs, and St. Bernard's with a very impressive 64-21 win over San Marin. St. Bernard's, of course, was the top seed in that Division IV bracket. San Marin was the number 8 seed.
A lot of the starters for St. Bernard's back on the field. Looks like they want to hang on to this ball and just...
They've got Simone. They've kind of got that jumbo formation, and Simone's just going to run the football, and he's going to pick up about 7 yards to the 43-yard line. So the third different quarterback that we've seen for St. Bernard's today, with Omey starting. If you count Fairfield, that'd be 4. Is that what you're talking about now? It looks like Tomlin's going to check into the game. The land shark, who we saw earlier this season.
Take a snap and run behind the power formation here.
And then he drops it. Now he picks it up, and he is going to be tackled for a 2-yard loss. At least he picked it up, or he would have never heard the end of it from his dad and head coach and offensive coordinator Matt Tomlin. And now Simone's going to check back in.
Yeah, we ended, he touched the football, and
we saw him earlier this year. He took a couple of snaps earlier this season.
Third and 5 for the Crusaders.
Well, the thing is, St. Bernard's, what they want to do is get a couple first downs here.
Right.
And not give the ball back to the Cougars and just kind of close this game out. And they're going to have to get a few yards here.
3rd and 5 at the 45, and Samone's going to keep it himself, and he's got enough for a first down as he's inside the 40. Anthony Silva making the tackle as Simone picked up 7 and a first down, and Tomlin's back in for him.
Well, I remember 2011, I came out of retirement and we won 3 games that year. We had a good record at Arcata against our
Now, was that
Division
your
IV.
first year back?
That was my first year
Okay.
back on my second tour of duty.
Right.
And, there was some debate, but we were so
Now
young.
Tomlin on a direct snap is going to run over that left side, and he's going to pick up a couple of yards to about the 46-yard line.
We were 3-7 that year, but we had beaten Upper Lake and Kennedyville twice and lost to Fortuna twice. Del Norte was in upper division.
Did you end up losing to St. Helena that year?
We lost to St. Helena in the
Okay.
first round. We gave them a pretty good game without our quarterback, and so.
And you were
we
playoff
so
eligible,
young.
right?
We were so young. I thought this is good experience, and we need it. And so I want to play every game that we can play. That was my philosophy. But I've had conversations with coaches that say I just don't want to go get crushed by some number 1 seed or whatever.
Going to be 2nd and long, this time a direct snap to Joyner, and Joyner's going to carry the ball to about the 30-yard line, where it's going to be 3rd and about 3. I know, I think a few years ago, Doug Johnson, who was the head coach up at McKinleyville, they were playoff eligible, decided to throw their name into the hat. They got into the playoffs, and then they ended up, I think, going down and maybe playing either Novato or Moraine Catholic, and that was just not a good thing, as they were really overmatched in the playoffs.
Yeah, and and really it's kind of a byproduct of how your season's going. Different schools have different.
Zimmerman's at quarterback today. Everybody's getting snaps today, and Zimmerman's going to pick up a first down, and he's going to be shoved out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. So let's figure this out. We started with Omey. Omey was 1. Joyner was 2. Simone was 3. Tomlin was 4. And now Zimmerman 5.
You got Joyner in there too.
Right.
Okay, you got Joyner. Okay. Yeah.
Omey 1, Joyner 2, Simone 3, Tomlin 4, and Zimmerman 5.
And they're basically running the same play.
And now it's going to be Hausworth, who's in the game at quarterback. He's going to get clobbered as he got leveled. That was Jimenez. That was kind of a mismatch there with Hausworth 5'10", 170. Now look who's coming in. So Coach Tomlin's just having a great time. It looks like Romo might go into the game at quarterback. And the St. Bernard's players are getting all excited. This is great. I think it's great that Coach Tomlin
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely, yeah.
So Romo will be number 7. And keep in mind, Romo had the wind knocked out of him.
17.
That's Romo, number 17 at quarterback. He had the wind knocked out of him in the first half. Direct snap to Romo, and he's in trouble, Coach. The ball is loose. It's going to be picked up by Wood, and he's going to take it to the house. 40, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Albany.
Well, that didn't work out that plan. But,
So that was not the way they drew it up.
no, that a little off script there. But yeah, just hang on.
And a scoop and score for Wood.
Yeah.
65 yards scoop and score for Wood. That quiets the St. Bernard sidelines.
Yeah, well, you're rooting for your teammates to go out there and get a carry. It's a good thing, all in all, and sometimes these things happen. You put people in a position where they're not used to taking a snap from center. They're not used to handling a football very much, and
They went to the well once too often.
Yeah, well, you know what? You give kids an opportunity.
Exactly.
A chance to move the ball forward, get a few yards, and get some experience.
And now Jones drops the snap. Now he doesn't know what to do. He's rolling to his right. He's going to try to throw it into the end zone, and the pass is incomplete on the 2-point conversion. So we are going to take a break in the action. 3:26 remaining in the fourth quarter. St. Bernard 61, Albany 28, and Tommy will be back right after this 60-second timeout.
Gatorade tested in the lab.
running clock in the fourth quarter.
Except for a touchdown.
They stop it after a score or an injury or a timeout.
But it's been running. It's been a pretty quick quarter.
Yeah.
Especially compared to the first.
Okay, so a turnover, second fumble, Romo.
Our student athletes enjoy the opportunity to participate in CIF North Coast Section
Wood.
Championships thanks in large part to the generosity of our family of corporate partners. Please remember to support our corporate partners in appreciation of their support of our student athletes. Title sponsor, Les Schwab Tires, Gatorade.
Okay, thanks, Tommy.
Official ball provided by Wilson, the Marines, Max Preps, NFHS Network.
Welcome back to Crusader Field. Albany now with 28 points. They get a defensive touchdown. Romo, who was in the game at quarterback, had problems handling the snap. Dropped the ball, scoop and score situation. Wood picked it up and ran 65 yards for the touchdown. Pass failed on the two-point conversion, 61-28. Here's Sycan with an onside kick, and it's going to be kicked directly to Taylor, who fields it and then returns it to the 46-yard line.
Yeah, onside attempt. Good job around that ball, and actually moved it up the field a little bit. You don't see it often, but sometimes those onside, if you get enough momentum, you catch it and you can run right past the coverage team and go.
And I've seen that happen before at the NFL level, at the college level, at the high school level, where you get that momentum. Like you said, you field it on the run, and
just need a clean hop.
Yeah. The kick team ends up being in your rearview mirror.
Yeah.
Now Joss Daniels will check in. And it looks like it's going to be Simone at quarterback. They've kind of got that jumbo formation to the right. Simone's just going to run the ball on first down, and he's going to run straight ahead, and he is going to be brought down after a short gain on a nice defensive play by number 3, Logan Taylor.
Doing a good job of fighting through a whole crowd of blockers there, and Snaburgers lines up with those 3 backs in sort of a power formation there, 3 lead backs, and the quarterback keeps the ball and runs behind them and the lineman in front of them, and so you've got about 5 blockers in a 2-yard radius there, and
number 58, David Jose, is going to check in. Things were so bad at Albany last year at this time. They basically were not able to finish their season, that they were considering maybe even playing 8-man football, and Simone on the second down run is going to carry the ball to the 39-yard line, a gain of 6. It's going to be 3rd and a short 3 as the clock continues to move. Less than 2 minutes remaining. And they were in a situation where they were not sure what they were going to do. And they were able to kind of take the group of players from last year who were very motivated because of the fact that they did not have an opportunity to finish their 2017 season with the players from the junior varsity. And first-year head coach Amir Hawari was able to generate enough interest and kind of get this program turned around as they give it to Simone, and he's going to be tackled for a loss back at the 44-yard line.
Loss on the play.
Just like what Coach Burbank was able to do up at McKinleyville this past year. Things did not go well for them in 2017, but he's trying to change the culture, trying to get things turned around. They're trying to do the same thing at Albany. As Jones is going to check out of the game and get a nice hand, and I think that's another nice move, nice classy move by Coach Hawari, making sure that Jones, a lot of Albany fans made the trip up. There's probably about 50 of them over there.
Good crowd, and a lot of white, clean white uniforms. They're subbing down, getting everybody in the game here. The last football game of the year. So
going to be a 4th down play coming up. Simone's at quarterback, and he's going to take one more snap, and he's just going to go back and and just take a knee on what will be the final play of the game. So our final score, St. Bernard 61, Albany 28. Coming up next will be the post-game show. On the post-game show, we'll recap the scoring in the game, or at least recap the scoring in the second half. We'll take a look at some numbers, we'll look at the scoreboard, and we will visit with St. Bernard's head coach, Matt Traum, and Coach Saunderson. As always, thank you very much for your help. 61-28 the final. St. Bernard's now will move on to play the number 4 seed San Marin next Saturday down in Nevada in the quarterfinals of the North Coast Section Division 4 playoffs. So our final score, the 5th seeded Crusaders 61, the 12th seeded Cougars 28, and we will be back with the post-game show right after this timeout. All right, thank you. How are you doing with breaks? Gary, we'll see you. Okay. Why don't you just make this a one? Make it a 1 minute break. My shorty. Life is amazing, it is what it should. Yeah, tell her liquor, no one in tussies. Both for 3 years, you can't even book me. It's me and the baby going crazy. Weezy produced it and Weezy had made me, and she heard it down, so she got it myself. Yeah, it rained me 10,000, I threw it like they got trust in my betray me. Man, all these they sweeter than Sadie. When I started out, I just took what they gave me. Did all the favors, they never repaid me. Worked in my favor, nobody said.
Good. See you, Eric. What's that?
Look at that girl. Division 3 soccer bracket. Look at that bracket.
See you later.
Welcome to the post-game show. Tag Waller's been along with Coach Dave Filippini, Chuck Petrucia breaking things down. The great Vernon Brown is always turning in another strong performance today. Dr. Luke Omey is in the house. All the important people up here in the press box. 61-28, our final score, Coach. Before we recap the scoring in today's game, pretty impressive performance by the Crusaders. Very similar to what we saw from the Fortuna Huskies last night.
Yeah, well, you know what? When you control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, we were starting offensive defense.
Don't plug it in.
Boy, the Crusaders just had their way up front. They put tremendous pressure on the quarterback. He was running.